You're watching the All-American Racing League on the SimWorld Racing Network.
Good evening, race fans, and welcome to Martinsville, Virginia. And the Martinsville Speedway, stop number 7 for the All-American Racing League, the Blue Ridge Mountains 320 from Martinsville Speedway. So glad you could join us here on the SimWorld Racing Network. As always, my name is Nathan Christensen, the voice of the All-American Racing League Cup Series. As I mentioned, race 7 for the 2025 season here as we get set to go 320 laps around the half-mile Martinsville Speedway there in the camera shot, as we have, looks like, about 14 or 15 cars on hand to do battle here tonight for those 320 laps. Let's go down and take a look and see if someone is out there practicing, and we'll give you a shot of the running order as it goes right now, with about 3.5 minutes left to go here in practice. Keeping our eye on the 27, that is Cam Harris out of San Antonio, Texas, the driver of that number 27 machine. But sitting on top of the scoring charts here in practice, that is Dave Lorfano out of Poland, Maine, with a 19.375, just 3/1000ths of a second quicker than James Nelson's 19.378. Right behind them, Greg Barnett in the 38. Cam Harris on the screen there in that Mobile 127. And then Dave Hara round out the top 5 so far tonight in practice. Larry Garnes goes for a bit of a spin down the front straightaway, as we will take a look there. Cam misses that corner a little bit. The driver's on track, driving the Pimax number 74 Chevrolet Camaro. That is Ryan Steinhoff out of Scottsdale, Arizona, the driver of that number 74 car. They're working his way down through the turns of 1 and 2 end of the speedway down the short back straightaway. Also on track, the driver of the number 2 Harley Davidson University of Pittsburgh Medical Center number 2. That is Tyrone Yo out of York, Pennsylvania, in that Ford Mustang. A few more cars coming off of pit road. There you see James Nelson in the Auto Serve 75, the second car on the screen. Right behind the driver of that number 1 car, Curtis Sobrin out of Hudson, North Carolina, in that Busch Light number 1 car. They worked their way back across the start-finish line to do a couple more laps of practice here, with about 2 minutes to go before we go to single car qualifying. 2 laps for each driver. Fastest of your 2 laps will set your starting position for tonight's 320 lap event. Stages tonight at the end of lap 64 and 144. So 2 stage breaks tonight, 64 and 144. Then we'll run it home to the end to lap 320. Again, so glad you could all join us here on the SimWorld Racing Network as we present the Blue Ridge Mountains 320 from Martinsville, as we are just about ready to go qualifying here around this teeny tiny tight half mile, as we'll keep an eye here on the 75 of Nelson and the 1 of Curtis Sobrin as they head back down into 3 and 4. James Nelson still sitting second in the time charts here in practice as he works his way right on the back bumper of that number 1 car. See if we got any more drivers out on track. Looks like Dave Hara has brought his police car out onto the track tonight to do some final laps here just before we get set to go race. The number 15 Los Santos Police Camaro headed down the front straightaway there on the screen behind the 27. And as previously mentioned, that is Cam Harris in that 27. It looks like we got a bit of an issue between the 1 of Curtis Sobrin and Tyrone Yo's number 2 car, as a couple cars head back to the pits. So we'll go to this higher up view here, and we'll keep an eye on the rest of the field here this evening. time has completed here for qualifying, or practice rather, so we'll get set to go qualifying here momentarily as the track will reset and we'll get all the cars onto pit road, and they will get 5 minutes like usual, 2 laps. Best of your 2 laps will set your starting positions here. Looks like again 15 cars signed in for tonight's event. As the cars get set to hit the track here in this one, first car looks to be going to be the 2 car of Tyrone Yo. He'll head out onto the track for his qualifying attempt. Dave Lafano also out on the track. He is the driver of that number 8 Los Santos police machine, headed down through 3 and 4 on his warm-up lap. He is not even going to make it around to the start before he gets into the wall, so not a good start to qualifying for the Lafano number 8. Curtis Saubert on track there, and that number 1 car headed down the front straightaway to the green flag. Tyrone Yo will be coming around here to complete his first of 2 laps. Should be the first car to set a time here on the screen. We'll keep an eye on the times here. Yo goes to the top of the board as the first car out there. 23:02 for Tyrone. 2:03:23:02. Steinhoff goes quicker than Tyrone, and Lafano goes quicker than that, even with his misstep in turn number 1. So we'll finish watching Tyrone's second lap here. He'll come back around to the checkered flag on lap 2, see if he can improve on a 23:02. He does not, so currently Lafano leads the way as Steinhoff will jump in front of Barnett, who snuck in there. Lafano goes quicker with a 4:61. Kurdzlek now in second. Sobran jumps up to second with a 6:81. See if Chad Snyder out there. New paint job, new whip for Chad Snyder. The silver and red number 26-9. The Blues races out in Rebellion Graphics number 26. Virginia native out of Mineral, Virginia. Chad Snyder coming around to complete what will be his first lap on the clock. 6 quick for Snyder, a 19.722 compared to a 19.461 for Lafano. So second lap, looking to go a little quicker, improve on that 6th place starting position. But so far, Lafano, the man to beat on top of the scoring pylon. Here comes Chad out of turn number 4, back down to the stripe. See if he can go quicker. He does a 6.65, moves him up to 4th place. Larry Garns on track, looking to complete his second lap. No time as of yet. 11th for Garns on his first lap. Goes a little bit quicker. Will gain 1 position, be inside the top 10. A 22.62 for Larry Garns. Doesn't look like any other cars on track quite yet. As I say that, though, the last week's winner, driver the number 4 mobile Ford Mustang, that is Chris Essery out of Bakersfield, California. He'll come around to the green flag. First of 2 qualifying laps for the driver of the number 4 machine. Down the front straightaway, collects the green flag, and he is underway here on his first of 2 laps. Works his way down the back straightaway, looking to complete lap number 1 this time out of turn number 4 for the driver of the Mobile 1 number 4 machine. That Ford Mustang, not the best first lap, I don't think, for Essery. We'll see how it stops the clock, though. 12th quickest, so he's looking to drastically improve on that starting position. 12th for Essery, 23.23 on lap number 1. Down into turn number 3, see if he gets it a little better this time. Rolls the bottom, locks it up a little bit, shoves the nose on X, and not going to be much quicker, especially once you hit the wall. So it looks like the first lap will be the one that counts, unfortunately, for Essery. Dave Hare now out on track. He hits the end of lap number 1. He will go 3rd quick for Dave Hare. 3rd quick for the driver of the number 15 car. 19.598 for Dave Hare. 19.598 on lap number 1 for the Los Santos Police Department. Camaro, as he works his way back through turns 3 and 4, end of the racetrack, down out of 4. Will complete lap number 2. See if he can go any better than that. He does, a 15.91, so improves by 7 1/1000ths of a second. Unfortunately, we'll hold on to that 3rd spot. So 14 of now 16 cars have completed time trial laps here. Joining us late is Ben Campbell. So Ben Campbell will be in the 67 Toyota tonight. He is late getting here, so he may not have time to put it in a qualifying lap with only about 45 seconds to go here in qualifying. But a great short track racer is Ben, so he won't be at the back for long, I don't think, but there'll be someone for us to keep our eyes on here early in this one, as we're down to about 30 seconds to go in qualifying. And we look to get this wrapped up here momentarily. So as qualifying comes to an end here from the Martinsville Speedway, we'll get set to get the cars all lined up on the front straightaway. 2 pace laps will bring you the starting lineup for tonight's 320 lap affair, the Blue Ridge Mountains 320 from Martinsville Speedway on the Sim World Racing Network. Again, so glad you could be here for race 7 of the 2025 season. So far this year, we've had 4 different winners crossing the stripe first here with the All-American Racing League. The hot streak and the hot start to the year went to Travis Rodriguez, picking up 3 consecutive wins at Daytona, Atlanta, and then the road course at Coda. That's when his luck went the other way. Unfortunately, he has had a few DNFs here over the last few weeks. Dave Harrow picked up the win at Phoenix. We went out to Vegas, where Ken Pack hit Snake Eyes and went lucky and picked up his first win of the year. Then last week, in dominating fashion, the driver on the number 4 machine, Chris Essery, picked up the win at Homestead. And for those who tuned in on Friday night to the Quick Finishers Racing League, saw Chris Essery go 2 for 2 back-to-back nights from Homestead, both in pretty dominant fashion, as he was the winner on both of those nights last week. So we'll see if he can win 3 races in a row. He said he wanted to better Ken Pack, who won 2 in a row, won both the Las Vegas races 2 weeks ago. So he's looking to go 3 in a row. Like I told him last week on Thursday in Victory Lane, you got to win 2 before you can win 3. He showed us that he could. Now he looks to go 3 for 3 here across both series. Looks like all the cars have gridded. We should get set to roll the pace car here momentarily for 320 laps around the 0.52 mile speedway. As the starting lineup shows up on your screen there, on the pole, David Lerfano III out of pole in Maine with a 19.461. Mike Kurdzlek outside him from Louisville, Kentucky, number 41. And row number 2 will be the 15 car out of Charlotte, North Carolina. Dave Harrow will go from 3rd. Travis Rodriguez, the aforementioned Travis Rodriguez, out of San Antonio, Texas, in his number 7 roll off 4th. Chad Snyder out of Mineral, Virginia, and Curtis Sobran out of Hudson, North Carolina will go from row 3. James Nelson and Ryan Steinhoff from row number 4. San Antonio, Texas also belongs to the hometown of Cameron Harris and Greg Barnett out of Lyman, South Carolina from row 5. Larry Garnes and Tyrone Yo will make up row number 6. Chris Essery from Bakersville, California, Johnny May from Shenandoah, Virginia will make up row 7 as they come to the 1 to go signal. Ben Campbell out of Hudson, North Carolina, and Sean Horlander in the number 9 car will start shotgun on the field this afternoon. He will go from Mount Washington, Kentucky in the 16 starting spot. So there is the starting lineup for tonight's event. As you can see, the cars headed down the back straightaway, 2x2 formation. Dave Lerfano and Mike Kurdzlek in row number 1. Travis Rodriguez on the outside. Dave Harrow on the inside of row number 2. Pace truck will drop to the infield field. Will go in the hands of Dave Lerfano. He will get to the Geico restart zone on the original start. The starter will start the race. They roll into the Geico restart zone. Get on the loud pedal. Green flag is out. They will stumble, bumble, and rumble down into turn number 1. Lerfano in the preferred bottom groove. He's going to bring Hera with him through on the bottom. Looks like the door is going to be open for Snyder also to make that move down into turn 3 and 4 as Kurdzlek didn't get the best start. Got hung up on the high side. Still stuck out there in that second lane. Looks like he's going to be able to get clear to the bottom now on the entry of turn number 1. One of 320 in the books here as we work turns 1 and 2 on lap number 2. Snyder pushing hard on the back bumper of the 15 car here early in this one, trying to get up to the front in a hurry. He's going to settle for 3rd, though. Kurdzlek and Rodriguez round out the top 5. Down the front straight, pass for the lead as Dave Harrow will look to the inside of Dave Lerfano through 1 and 2. He's going to get that pass done by the exit. He's going to set sail. Now the new race leader here on lap 3. It's a 15 of Dave Harrow. Battle for 4th, as Kurdzlek has some company on the outside in the form of Travis Rodriguez, who bounces the right rear off the wall. We got trouble behind him. As you can see, a bunch of cars getting out of shape there on the exit of turn number 4. Looks like Barnett involved, the 27 of Harris, the 74 also involved in that one. Let's go take a look and see what got that action under caution here. So we'll come off of turn number 4. You see Harris gets on the brakes a little too hard and spins the rear end out. And then you see the 74 get into the inside wall a couple of times. We'll take another look at what happened to Steinhoff here on the inside. So just gets on the brakes a little too hard and loses the front end down into the inside wall a couple times. So shouldn't be too much damage. Obviously not much time to fix it if there is, though, as we are quick laps here, even under cautions. We'll see a couple cars come down to pit road. The Steinhoff 74, the Barnett 38 to pit road here early in this one. Up front, though, it's the 15, Dave Hara, the leader at this point here, under caution on lap number 4 from Martinsville. Second place looks to be Dave Lafrano, Chad Snyder, Mike Kurdzak, and now Curtis Sobran up into the top 5 after Juggles Rodriguez had some issues there getting off of turn number 4, which kind of stacked the field up a little bit, which I think kind of part of the reason why things got a little chaotic there out of turn number 4. We'll take one more look here, and you'll be able to see the 78 car hits the wall first, and then that slows everyone up, causing a bunch of chain reaction behind him, and then that's where calamity unfolded. So let's take another look here. Keep an eye on the 7 car there. He bounces the rear end off the wall, and then everyone kind of stacks it up and gets loose, and too much brake bias to the front or the back gets those cars pretty loose pretty quick, as everyone else able to avoid any contact here in that one. But we'll take another look back up front as we get set to go. Continue under caution here early in this one. 7 laps to go at the line next time. Already one caution, unfortunately, on the afternoon. Remember, no fast repairs for any of these guys, so they will have to wait it out on pit road to get as much damage fixed as they can every time they are on pit road. The field rolls through turns 3 and 4. I believe we should be getting the one to go signal this time from the starter. Yes, sir. Lights are out on the pace truck. Field forming up 2 by 2 in rows, 12 rows of 2 by 2 as we get set to go back racing here next time out of turn number 4. It's going to be a Hara Lafrano front row this time. You got Snyder and Kurdzak in row 2. Sobran and Nelson make up row 3. Rodriguez and Ben Campbell already up to the 8th position here in this one after missing qualifying. As I mentioned, got to keep an eye on that driver, that 67 car, that black car with the purple numbers on the left-hand row on the top of the screen here. Field works its way through turns 3 and 4, back down towards the front straightaway, and the restart here for this one. Green is back out. We're back racing here 2 by 2. They go down into turn number 1. Lafrano holds tough on the outside. Going to try to pinch Hara down to not give him some room. It's going to work well as Lafrano able to clear Hara. By the time they get to turn number 3, he's going to try to get down here on corner exit to block the run on the straightaway. The 15 does so, able to do that as he gets clear. Now back to the lead is Dave Lafrano. Battle on for 4th and 5th and 6th here back in this gaggle of cars. Curtis Sobran, James Nelson, Ben Campbell, Travis Rodriguez all in the shuffle here in this one as they head down to turn number 3 and 4. Couple cars caught on the outside. Obviously not the preferred way to get around this track, but the driver, that number 75 car, hanging tough on the outside here as he works on the outside quarter panel of the car, as we have a couple of accidents developing here as both the 7 and the 75 to get together. And a little earlier we saw a bunch of cars at the back get together, so we're going to take another look at both these replays here as we are back under caution in this one. So here's the first incident. See what happens here. Down into turn 1 and 2. Looks like Johnny May just slows up a little more than Essery thought he would and gets into the back bumper and spins the 69 out. All cars able to continue. Shouldn't be too much damage for any of those drivers. And then the second one was kind of the big jingle down the back straightaway here on the exit of turn number 2. 75 loses the rear end, gets into the side of the 7, spinning Rodriguez out, and he makes contact with the wall. A little bit of contact to the 67 of Ben Campbell, but nothing too serious. We'll take one more look here at the second incident. Again, off of 4, Nelson gets loose up into the side of the 7, who gets into the outside wall. Campbell able to, after a little contact and a bump to the nose, get down to the inside and clears that. But again, lots of damage here. Here early in this one, you can see the front of the 67 all pushed in as he works his way down the back straightaway. Under caution for the second time tonight, lap number 13. We're working on 11 laps. Our caution was out on a lap 11, so we'll see all these guys work their way out of pit road back onto the track as we should get going here momentarily. A couple more laps under caution before we get back to racing as everyone's able to get back on track. Tony May sitting on pit road with a black flag, so some kind of penalty being served by driver number 69 here in this one. Let's see when we can see where he got it. Maybe a little bit of speeding. Oh yeah, definitely going far quicker than he should be on pit road. Is the driver of the 69, so he will sit there and continues to get some service from his pit crew. Up front, though, Dave Lurfano will be the leader as they work their way out of turn number 4 towards the start-finish line. 1 to go flag, or 1 to go signals should be given to these drivers this time out of turn number 4. Lights are out on the caution truck as we get set to go back racing here from Martinsville. Be 15 laps complete. 3:05 to the end of this one, and once we get back racing here in this one this afternoon. So, front row made up of Super Trooper Lurfano and Super Trooper Hera as they work their way through 3 and 4, 2 by 2 still, as we got the Hera and Lurfano on the outside row. They'll bring it into the Geico restart zone. First car to fire has to be the 8. He does. The green flag is back out. They rocket down into turn 1, off like a herd of turtles down through turns 1 and 2. The field goes. Out of turn number 2 and down the back straightaway. Snyder's going to get clear of the Hera machine, who got stuck on the outside there from his second place restarting position. So that'll move Snyder up to the second position in that beautiful silver and black Blues Race Design Rebellion Graphics Assault Motorsports Camry. Right there on track as they work out of turn number 2 back down the back straightaway. Laps under green do click off quick here, so hopefully we can get some strung together and we'll get through a good chunk of this race in a hurry. Looks like we got some battles a little further back as Campbell and Sobran will battle off at turn number 4. Campbell will get the better of that battle. He will move up to the 5th spot for the first time tonight after starting 15th in this one, up 10 spots from his original starting position. Is the driver of that number 67 machine, as we keep an eye here on the 1 car of Curtis Sobran as he works his way down the front straight. Curtis out of Hudson, North Carolina, driver of that number 1 Bush Light machine with the fish on the side. Very cool paint job tonight for the Sobran number 1. Back up front though, Dave Lurfano out of Poland, Maine, continues his leading here in stage number 1 out of down to the line. That'll be 19 complete. So we got trouble on the track as Tyrone Yo and James Nelson get together in turn 3 and 4, bringing out another caution here in this one. 3rd caution of the afternoon on lap number 20. We'll take a look and see what happened between Tyrone and James Nelson. Oh, it looks like James just got into the corner way too hard, and Tyrone must not have seen him spinning out as he drills the driver of the 75 car, able to pull away. Not sure how much damage to that machine there is, but definitely some hard contact from Tyrone in that one. So we'll take another look here at the replay. You'll see him getting into the corner out of shape early into the corner. Let's rewind it a little bit to see if there was any contact from the 7 car. Hard to tell from that angle. We'll take another look at it, see if, again, Rodriguez might have made a little contact with him down into turn number 3 and 4. So yeah, looks like Rodriguez got a piece of the back of the 75 that sent him spinning, and then Tyrone Yo, again, not getting out of the gas and driving right into the side of the driver of the 75. Not a good way to be involved there for Tyrone, as Nelson, I'm sure, not very pleased with that turn of events after contact with the 7 and then gets drilled by the number 2 car. He is on pit road, getting attention from the pit crew as the field continues under caution here. You can see them coming out of turn number 4, all the cars there on pit road, making that hustle off of pit road to try to beat that pace car before they end up going a lap down. See if they can all make it. There goes Nelson. Last car to move might be the Rodriguez 7 as he shoots off of pit road. He will make it to the pit exit there at the green cones before the leader gets there, so all safe that time, as they will now head back all the way around and rejoin the tail end of the field. Again, under caution for the 3rd time of the afternoon here on lap number 20. Incident involving the 7, the 75, and the number 2 car. One more look here, you'll see the 75 sliding through the corner, and Tyrone just right into the rear quarter panel of the driver of the 75. So we should be set to get back going here momentarily with Dave Lurfano up front. Should be getting the 1 to go sign this time. Looks like the field is doubling up. We'll come back to green on lap number 20 as at the completion of lap number 24 here as we work our way again down the back straightaway under caution. Green flag will be coming back out momentarily though as we get set to go back racing here from Martinsville. 3 cautions so far on the afternoon here in the early running of this one, so hopefully they got it out of their system and we can get some laps under our belt as we still have 296 laps to go. Green flag is back out for the 8 of Lurfano. Down into turn number 1 and 2 they go. He leads the way. Snyder now is the car caught on the outside, reverse of what happened on the last restart as Hara was the car up on the outside. So Hara and clear Snyder and move Snyder back to the 3rd spot, but he's going to open the door wide open for the 67 there of Ben Campbell as Snyder got high and wide in turn number 3 and 4. Campbell looks to be a little conservative on the bottom as Snyder will drive it in deep, try to get a good run on exit to clear that 67. Looks like he is still, oh no, he's going to do it. He'll get back to the low side as they head down to turns 3 and 4. Snyder back to the bottom in 3rd. Campbell 4th. Kurgelek back to 5th after starting in the 2nd position. And again, we have trouble on the speedway here in this one. Driver the 38, Greg Barnett, involved. Looked like also the 20 of Larry Garnes. And again, Tyrone Yo caught up in this one. So let's take another look at this. As we get on the exit there, you can see the 20 car just loses the rear end out into the outside wall, and Barnett kind of had nowhere to go on that one as he collects the tail end of the driver, the number 20 there, as he bounced off the outside wall, and then Tyrone Yo grabs a piece of that also as he also catches the tail of the number 20 car. Tyrone will be headed down to pit road. Looks like it'll be the 7 of Rodriguez coming down also behind him here. You can see as they head on to pit road, 4 cars will head to the attention of their pit crews here under caution number 4 on the afternoon. 28 laps complete here from Martinsville. It's been a rough start to say the least here to the first part of this one as we are under caution and working lap number 29. Still under caution here from Martinsville. A couple cars on pit road. Looks like, oh, that's still the 69 of Johnny May. Then the 38 of Greg Barnett still sitting on pit road. Already lost 1 lap to the field, unfortunately, but has to get that damage repaired. It looks like you're going to wait it out and see if how much damage that pit crew can get repaired before we get back going here. So as we should see the 1 to go signal this time out of turn number 4. Again, Dave Hara will be, first day on the mic. Dave Lurfano will go from the pole in his number 8. Outside him will be the Hara 15th. Row 2 will be Snyder in Ben Campbell. Row 3 looks like it's going to be Kurzelak and Curtis Sobran. And then Chris Essery and Sean Horlander will make up 2, 4, 6, 8. Row 4 as the field heads down the back straightaway. We get set to go back racing here in this one into turn 3 and 4. Again, control card is that number 8 car as we get set to go out of turn number 4. Side by side into the Geico restart zone. Back down to the green flag here from Martinsville as they race right into your living room. Out of turn number 4, turn 2 down the back straight. It looks like Snyder's going to be able to clear the Hara 15 again, the bottom side, just so dominant early on the restart that Hara is going to lose that spot again to the driver of that number 26 machine. They work down the back straightaway this time. Still Lurfano, Snyder, Hara. Then we're going to have Essery now crack the top 5 as he's in 5th behind Kurzelek's 41. They worked their way down through turns 3 and 4 back to the stripe. Still single file, nose to tail this time across the line. Esri, though, will look to make a move on the inside of Kurgelek, as Kurgelek will give him lots of space still early in this one as they'll drag race down the back straightaway. As they get to turn 3, Esri looks to complete that pass, so Kurgelek is looking to close the door on the nose of the 67 and not leave it open for another run. Not sure if he's going to get it done as yet. He will. Campbell will slot in behind Kurgelek in 5th there, as Campbell will give him the benefit of the doubt and let him get back down to the bottom through turns 1 and 2. Field continues to work here under green flag. Lerfano, Snyder, Hera, Esri, Kurgelek, Campbell, Sobrin, and Cam Harris back up into the fray here after an early incident got him off pace and onto pit road. Then James Nelson has battled back up to 9th. Ryan Steinhoff holding on to a 10th place position in his Pimax number 74. Then right behind him, Travis Rodriguez, driving that number 7 Americana Motorsports machine. He holds on to the 11th spot. Sean Horlander out there in that number 9 SimWorld Racing Network All-American Racing League Quick Finishers Racing League Camaro heads down the back straightaway towards turn number 3. Tyrone Yo also out there. He's currently sitting in 13th, driving that number 2 Ford Mustang, the Harley Davidson and University of Pittsburgh Medical Center number 2 machine. Then last car on track, right there in 14th, last car on the lead lap, that's driver number 20 out of West Virginia. That is Larry Garnes. And then rounding out the field on track, unfortunately 7 laps down at this point, is the driver of the Speed Society number 38 Camaro. That is Greg Barnett. After sitting on pit road getting some damage repaired from by his picker, back out now on the speedway, clicking off laps, looking for a few lucky dogs here over the back half of the race to get back towards the lead lap. Up front, though, still Dave Lerfano led 31 of the 39 laps so far this afternoon here, working lap number 40 down towards turn number 3 and 4. Already see those brakes just a-glowing on that number 8 machine. Right on board the GamerTube Elite spoiler cam on the back of the number 8 machine as he works his way down the back straightaway. Started on the pole and still running up front here as we come back out of turn number 4. Jump on board the roof cam with the other Los Santos Police Department machine. That is Dave Hera, driving the number 15 as we chase driver the 26. Around here, the Resurrection Details, Rebellion Graphics, Blues Race Design, Toyota from the Assault Motorsports stable. That is Chad Snyder there holding on to a 2nd spot here early in this one. Chad looking for a good run here tonight here at a home state track. Obviously, Chad from Mineral, Virginia here in the state of Virginia. So looking for a good run here in front of what is a more than likely hometown crowd for the driver, that number 26. Dave Hera, not far from here, also Charlotte, North Carolina, just south of Martinsville. A few hours south, to be honest, as they work their way off of turn number 2 and down the back straightaway. Hera, again, see those brakes up front glowing bright as they're on it hard and often here around the small confines of Martinsville, Virginia. Right behind him is the Kurgelek 41. He was able to get back by Esri. He's moved himself back up into 4th position. The butt kicker, Moza Motorsports, number 41. Out of Louisville, Kentucky, is the driver of that number 41 Ford Mustang. And right behind him, as we mentioned, the aforementioned Chris Esri, looking for 3 TV race wins in a row as he picked up back-to-back wins last week, Thursday and Friday evening from the Homestead Miami Speedway in dominating fashion, I would say. Led the most laps, won all the stages and both races to collect maximum points in the event. The only point he didn't collect on the week was the 1 point for fastest lap in Friday's race. So, he's got his sights set on his 3rd win in a row, but there's some drivers in front of him who are going to have something to say about that, as one of those drivers is the driver of the number 8 out of Poland, Maine Dave Lerfano, in the LSPD machine, number 8, Unit 8, as Officer Lerfano, he likes to be called, works his way back down through turns 1 and 2. As we string some laps together here under green flag, we work our way to the completion of stage number 1, which is at the completion of lap number 64, so past the halfway point in stage 1. No need to worry about fuel or tires because the stages are not that long here tonight. As we will see how far these guys are willing to go in that third stage. Obviously cautions will change up how far these drivers will go on strategy, but here in the first two stages, being 64 laps and then about 80 laps, no need to pit unless you have some kind of issue that brings you down to pit road. But for the time being, oops, wrong camera, for the time being, Dave Lurfano still controls this one. Out front of the 26, who's out front of the 15, who's out front of the 41, who's out front of the 4 here in this one. So right on board Chad Snyder's number 26 Toyota through turns 1 and 2 on the exit of 2 down the back straightaway. As the field starts to get strung out here around the track, should be just a couple of laps before we see lap traffic become a factor. We bring the track map up there on the right hand side of your screen as the number 1 position on the track. That is Dave Lurfano, as he is closing quickly on the back of the number 20 machine of Larry Garnes. Larry does the gentlemanly thing. He will move to the top side and let the leader roll on through, as he will keep out of the way as best he can now as Snyder looks to go by, and then Dave Hare behind him. So great job by Larry Garnes letting the fast cars through here early in this one, as we've got our first casualty to lap traffic on the speedway. That is the 20 Larry Garnes going 1 lap down, so that is not good news, especially for the driver of the 38 rather, Greg Barnett, who now falls out of lucky dog contention. Still 7 laps down, so out here putting laps in, trying to get as many laps under his belt as he can. Maybe someone will fall out. A couple more drivers will fall out of the race a little later, giving him a few positions in the final standings. But for now, Barnett just out here putting laps in, getting some practice for tomorrow night's event, as we are right back on the air here on the Sim World Racing Network, bringing you the AutoServe 280 from Martinsville. The Quick Finishers Racing League will go live at 8:50 tomorrow evening. Nope, 7:50 tomorrow evening, for qualifying at 8 o'clock on the green flag shortly after 8:05. So we'll be back on the air again tomorrow night. I will be on the call for Quick Race Finishers race number 7 of the Cup Series from Martinsville Speedway, as Lurfano now pulls up on the back of the Tyrone Yo number 2 machine. Tyrone not giving away quite as easily as the driver of that number 20 did, so Dave might have to put in a little work. Hopefully he doesn't have to use the bumper here on the number 2 car, as Dave will now get a run. Looks like he's going to get a run down the inside into 3 and 4s. Yo will lay over to the side, not quite out of the way, but enough that Lurfano was able to get by and put another one off of the lead lap. Now the 9 car of Horlander will have the target set on its rear bumper as the next car to go 1 lap down here early in this one, as we have now strung together a good number of laps as we reach lap number 58, the completion of 58 this time out of turn number 4. So about 8 laps to go in stage number 1. Nope, sorry, that would be 6 laps to go in stage number 1. Out of turn number 4, they come down the back straightaway. Snyder able to get by the Horlander machine. Dave Hare goes to work on the inside now of Horlander through 3 and 4. He's going to bring Kurdzak and Essery with him easily, as again the lap cars doing us all a favor and getting to the high side, letting the faster cars get through and click these laps off. 59 complete that time at the line. Up front, Dave Lurfano continues to lead the race here out of turn number 4 down to the line. Just a handful of laps to go in stage 1, where we will award 10 points to the driver who wins the stage in the standings. 9, 8, 7, so on and so forth per position, back down to 10th place, where they will receive 1 point in the standings, and then the driver who wins the stage will collect 1 playoff point that will be added to his total at the start of the playoffs. So those are ever so important, as if you can amass enough of them, you pretty much have a free ride in the first round, as long as you can keep your car on track for all 3 races. So very important, those playoff points. Not so much now here at race number 7, but as we get through the regular season into the playoffs, you're going to see these cars These points mean a lot more as we work our way down through turns 3 and 4. Look, the red lights on pit road. We're on, meaning pit road closed, so no more pit stops here in stage number 1. Should be 1 to go this time at the line for the driver of the number 8 machine. 22.21, the last lap time for Lurfano, is fastest on the afternoon, a 19.589, so 0.7 of a second slower over the first stage for the driver of the 8 machines. Works his way down through 3 and 4. We should again see the end of stage number 1 this time. Out of turn 4, we'll keep our eye on the 5th place car. When he crosses the line right there, that'll bring out the caution and the end of stage number 1 here from Martinsville. So Dave Lurfano, the big winner here in the stage, he will make his way back around to the start-finish line. He'll pick up the caution car on the back straightaway as pit road should open this time for the field here. So we are under caution for, I believe, the 5th time this afternoon. This one, though, is the completion of stage number 1, as we should see pit road get pretty busy here momentarily as the pit crews will go to work. Probably 4 tires and full tank of fuel for most of these cars here as we take a step back, as we can see the field still catching up to the entrance of pit road, but then the cars on pit road on your screen right there will head to their respective pit stalls. And I mentioned 4 tires and a full tank of Sunoco fuel is probably the call from all the pit crews, as Horlander will be the lucky dog on that one. You can see him passing the pace truck as he will probably get the chance to bomb down pit road here early, or have to go around. I probably have to go around one more time before he can go down pit road. So looks like the 38 stayed out on track, so he will get one of his laps back. That'll move him to, unfortunately, still 6 laps down to the field, but we'll keep an eye here on the race off of pit road. Looks like it's going to be Lurfano winning that battle off of pit road. Excuse me, Chad Snyder in 2nd, Dave Hara in 3rd. Looks like Sean Horlander now takes the wave around. He will come down pit road to the attention of his pit crew. But out front, Dave Lurfano, winner of stage number 1 and first car off of pit road. Here to start stage number 2, he'll go from the front row with the 26 of Chad Snyder outside of him. As the 38 of Greg Barnett will take the wave around and rejoin the tail end of the field here. As I mentioned, 1 lap closer to being back on the lead lap, but still 6 laps off the pace here in this one is Lurfano. Again, Lurfano and Snyder on the front row. Hara and Kurdzlek, Essery and Campbell make up row number 3. Looks like it's going to be Cam Harris and Steinhoff in row number 4. So keep an eye on the Hara 15. See if you can get the jump on Snyder on the outside, as Snyder has got the better of Hara twice now when he was starting 2nd. So we'll see if that 26 is able to hold off the charge from 3rd place car into turn 1 and 2. He's not able to do it as he gets a little tight using that higher groove. He's still side by side, but now the 2 cars on the inside both going to clear Snyder as Kurdzlek will drive down there on the inside. Looks like we've got a freight train situation happening here to support Chad Snyder. As an incident though, on the restart, the 75 and the 7 get together, that time in turns 3 and 4. Going to bring out the caution for the 6th time here on lap number 71. We'll take another look at the replay. Nelson up into the curb and onto the curb, loses the front end and gets out into the side, makes contact with the driver of the number 7. We'll take one more look at that replay again. Watch the 75 bounce it off the inside curb right there, shoves it up the track and gets into the side of the number 7 machine, bringing out the caution here for the 7th time on the afternoon. So slow start here to stage number 3. Sorry, so stage number 2 is a bunch more cars headed down pit road for some more TLC. You can see a lot of beat up sheet metal here early in this one, as we are only approaching the 75 lap mark from Martinsville. Up front though, Dave Lurfano will be the leader. Dave Harrell will go to second. Chris Essery up into third. Both those drivers, Hera and Essery, able to sneak by Chad Snyder there on that last restart. So move Snyder back to fourth. Kurzak fifth. Campbell sixth here for the restart. So under caution here for the seventh time on the afternoon. Work our way down across the line. Should be a couple laps before we go back racing. More cars headed down pit road for a little TLC. And some cars coming off pit road join the field here. Still two cars on pit road. Steinhoff and Tyrone Yo on pit road at this time. But Lurfano, Hera, Essery, Snyder, Kurzak, Campbell, and Cam Harris, all the cars all stayed on the track under this caution. Looks like we've lost a couple cars as Johnny May still hasn't joined us from his earlier incident, but also Curtis Sovereign looks to be out of this one here. Only completing 66 laps this afternoon, so not exactly sure what happened to Sovereign, but he will not make it to the end of this one, unfortunately, as the cars side by side here on the restart. Looks like Dave Lurfano is going to switch it up. He is going to go to the outside for this restart. Dave Lurfano will go from outside of the first row. Dave Hare on the inside. Essery and Snyder row 2. Kurzak and Campbell in row 3. As the truck makes its way down to the safety of the infield, we get set to go back racing here. Lurfano again on the outside. The leader is that number 8 car. Down at the Geico restart zone. Green flag is out. We are back racing here in this one. Able to clear the 8 car is the 8 car able to clear the 50 easily, but Chad Snyder going at it hard on the outside here out of turn number 2 down the back straightaway. Still got a nose on the 15 of Hera down into turn 3 and 4. Snyder working that top groove really well here through the exit of turn 3 and 4. Not sure if he's going to be able to clear Hera quite yet. No, Hera's going to drive it back in on the bottom and door the 26 up almost into the outside wall. They're both going to lose a ton of spots. Both make some slight contact on the exit of turn number 2, but that did not work out for either of them, as both Hera and Snyder go backwards after contact on the entry of turn 1 and 2. Hera will cycle himself out and settle himself in 6th. Snyder a little worse off back there in 9th, as both they'll continue under power here on lap number 77. Snyder again in 9th and Dave Hera in 6th now, as he is battling with the 7 of Rodriguez. So again, just too hard on entry into turn 1 for the 15 of Dave Hera, and he got into the side of the 26 or something, and then both going very high on the turns 1 and 2. No one making contact with the wall, but definitely lost a ton of ground, as now we have Forlander and Barnett maybe getting together there on the back straightaway exit of turn number 2. Everyone's able to continue. Let's see what happened there to bring our attention to that incident. Oh, Barnett up into the wall, and then Horlander coming out of 4 just gets into the back of Barnett, who had lost rear traction. So another bit of an incident there for Barnett, but again, everyone able to continue. And up front now it's Lurfano, Essery, and Ben Campbell working their way around here, as we are 79 laps into this event as they work down the back straightaway. Ooh, hard contact to the outside wall for the 27 of Cam Harris there. Out of turn number 4, we'll get another look at that, as that was some pretty good contact. Watch this, number 27 gets high in the middle of the corner and just gets into the outside wall there. He's able to continue. Lost a spot, I believe, yes, to Dave Hera. Dave Hera back up to 5th. Harris back to 6th now, so still heading in the right direction. Maybe the wheels aren't pointed as straight as they were before, but still under power is the driver that 27. Up front, though, Lurfano in the 8 continues to lead Essery, Campbell. We got Kurzak and Dave Hera, your top 5 here as we come around to complete lap number 82. Shout out to everyone tuned in on the Sim World Racing Network here, as we bring you live coverage of the Blue Ridge Mountain 320 from Martinsville, Virginia, race 7 of the 2025 All-American Racing League Cup Series. Back straightaway again here on lap 84 for the field. again starting to get strung out as we get some green flag laps strung together in stage number 2. Half a second, 5 or 6 car lengths, the difference between first and second, and then a gap of about 3/10 of a second between second and third, or about 2 to 3 car lengths between Esri and the 67 of Campbell back there. As we keep an eye on this, see if we can, Ben can close the gap to the back of the 4 car. Again, Ben, a very strong short track runner, really can flex his muscle here around the short tracks. Picked up the win in the truck race on Sunday night from Martinsville. So see if he can pick up the win here tonight with the All-American Racing League. But so far running in 3rd place after starting 15th tonight. And then the car right in front of him, actually Chris Esri started, looks like he started in the 13th position. So 2 cars started deep in the field here tonight, running in the top 3. And Dave Lafano, the man who started on the pole, continues to run this one from the front of it. Comes around to complete his 88th lap, and of those, 80 have been in his control. Dave Hare has led the other 8. Dave Hare, after an incident with Chad Snyder getting into turn 1 on that last restart, back in the 5th position. Snyder still running in 9th, not able to make back up any positions here in stage number 2 quite yet, as he is behind the so difficult to pass number 75 of James Nelson. And not hard in a bad way, just makes life miserable for those trying to get around him. You can see definitely taking a more unique, different kind of entrance line. He's known to keep the shallow corner entry, but now Snyder is going to make a move to the inside here as I speak very kindly of James Nelson. He is going to leave the door open that time through 3 and 4 for the Snyder 26, but James is not going away easy. As I mentioned, one of the harder drivers to pass in the field. Again, not in a bad way, but just makes life a little bit miserable for those trying to get around him, as he is a fierce competitor out there on the track. But Snyder will move up to 8th now, getting by the driver of that number 75 machine. That is, again, James Nelson there in the 75 AutoServe machine out of Harpers Ferry, West Virginia, driver of the AutoServe Ford Mustang. Also the league owner over at QFRL, so we'll be on the air for those guys tomorrow night from Martinsville. The AutoServe 280 at 10 to 8 tomorrow, 7:50 Eastern time. We'll be back on the air for those wanting to tune in for a Friday night barn burner from Martinsville. But right now James Nelson's got his hands full with his 9th place car here. Obviously lots of damage, unfortunately, on that one, involving a few wrecks. Few mishaps rather early in this one, so he is looking to get some laps in, get back towards the front here, maybe in the later part of this race, and position himself for a good finish and getting some laps in for tomorrow night's event. 320 laps tonight, 280 laps tomorrow. So big 2 nights of racing for both leagues here on the SimWorld Racing Network. But up front, it continues to be Dave Lafano as we are back into some lap traffic. First car on the radar is that number 2 machine, the Harley-Davidson University of Pittsburgh Medical Center, number 2 of Tyrone Yo. He will stay to the high side as the first, second, and third place cars all look to make their way through in turn number 1, 2, able to get by clear and free of that number 2 car. Still Lafano, Esri, Campbell, Kurtz, like Hera, your top 5. 6th is Cam Harris. 7th, after getting around Travis Rodriguez, well, we watched this battle up front, was Chad Snyder, so move Chad back into the 7th position. Right behind him is the Rodriguez 7, then the Nelson 75. Behind them at Steinhoff in the 74. Then the lap car, that is Greg Barnett, currently 6 laps down. Unfortunately, at this point, is the driver of 38, but next car to go 1 lap down will be Horlander's number 9 as he works his way to the top side of 1 and 2 again, letting the leaders by on the bottom. So nice work by the lap cars here early in this one, allowing the faster cars to get by without too much contest, keeping them racing here under green flag. Lafano comes out of turn number 4. He'll complete lap 98 that time. Again, 90 laps led on the afternoon. So for the driver of the number 8 car, behind him is the S34, then the Campbell 67. So one thing to know about Dave Lafano, he loves these flatter style racetracks, and I don't want to bring up a sore topic, but here in the second race of 2024, he was leading at the white flag lap, and then a couple cars got together going down the back straightaway, resulting in Dave getting taken out in the middle of turns 3 and 4 and losing that race after dominating most of the afternoon here in the fall event from Martinsville. So hopefully we don't see a repeat of that, but knowing Dave Rafano feels this one owes him a win, and he is right now in position to pick up that win here as we cross over the 100 lap mark. 100 laps complete, 220 to go that time at the line. It'll be 101 complete this time for the driver out of Poland, Maine, in number 8, Dave Rafano. And second place is Mr. 2 in a row. That is a driver out of Bakersfield, California. Picked up his first All-American Racing League Series win last Thursday night at the Homestead Miami Speedway. Dominated that one. Led and won all of Stage 1, Stage 2, and the race. And then on top of that, picked up the bonus point for fastest lap of the afternoon. Which brings me to today's fastest lap, and that currently at this point of the race being held by Officer Hillbilly, driver the number 15 LSPD Camaro. He's currently holding a lap time of 19.442 as the fastest lap on the afternoon so far here in the first third of this one. And then second looks to be, not by much, the SRE number 4. He's got a 4.58, a 19.458 to Harris 442, and then Cam Harris, also driver of the 27 Mobile 1 Toyota. He has a 458. So a couple cars tied for what looks to be the second quickest lap here in this one, as they continue to work under caution, or under green flag rather. Up front, Dave Rafano over Essery, Campbell, Kurdzlek, Hara, Harris, Snyder. Nelson has gotten around Travis Rodriguez for 8th, so that moves Nelson to 8th and Rodriguez back to 9th, and then Steinhoff holds on to that 10th position here in this one. Again, looking for the completion of lap 144 will be the end of stage number 2 on the afternoon. So we are past the halfway point of the stage as we work here towards, again, lap 144, where we will look to bring out the green and white checkered for the end of stage number 2. But right now, Rafano continues to hold about a 6/10 of a second lead, about 6 or 7 car lengths now. The gap back to the SRE number 4, who is right in front of the driver of that number 27 machine. That is Ben Campbell out of Hudson, North Carolina, working out of turn number 4. The black car with the purple wheels and purple numbers there on your screen. He now again works in 3rd spot. Got some damage on the front of that one after picking up some damage earlier in an incident off of turn number 2 involving himself. The 7 of Rodriguez and the 75 of James. I'll go back and take a look and see how the 67 picked up his damage here. We'll take a look here as we cue that replay up. So here you can see this gets into the back of the 7 cars, completing that spin out. But so that's how he got that damage. Hasn't slowed him down any. As I mentioned, he's gone from what's that? 15th up to the 3rd position, so plus 12 on the afternoon for the driver of the number 67 machine. And then behind him, obviously driving that 41 Moser Motorsports butt kicker, number 41 Ford Mustang. That is Mike Kurdzlek out of Louisville, Kentucky, holding on to 4th, and then 1 car further back is the 15 of Dave Harris, still trying to make up some ground here. He lost early in this stage number 2 after contact on the entry of turn 1 and 2 with the 26 of Chad Snyder. So Hara holds on to the 5th spot. 6 is the 27 Mobile 1 Toyota out of San Antonio, Texas. That is Cam Harris in that 27 machine. Snyder there again, the 2nd car involved in that incident with Dave Hillbilly Hara, and he is back running in the 7th spot rather, so has been able to recover a couple positions from that incident earlier in this one. Nelson in 8th, and then Steinhoff now moved up into 9th. He's able to get around Rodriguez, who is going the wrong way here in the back half of stage number 2. Obviously, a ton of damage on that car also, as we're going to take a look here at the front of that car. So definitely some damage on the number 7 machine. So after what was a terrific start to the 2024-25 season, rather, picking up 3 consecutive wins, it's been nothing but trouble for the driver of that number 7 machine. So after winning 3 in a row, he finished 12th at Phoenix, 2nd at Vegas, so was able to turn it around, but then another 12th place finish last week at Homestead has really put a damper to his season after starting so hot and so well in the 2025 season. Up front, though, Dave Lafano continues to lead this one over Chris Essery, Ben Campbell, Mike Kurdzak, and Dave Hara. All there, nose to tail, is 2nd through 5th now as they work their way. Sorry, 2nd through 4th. Work their way out of turn number 2 down the back straightaway. They do. Into turn 1 and 3 and 4. Up front, Lafano continues to lead here. He's sitting currently in the 6th place in the point standings, which brings us to a review, take a look here at the 2025 point standings here from Martinsville. So you can see Mike Kurdzak leads the way, 273 points, 2 points in front of Ken Peck, who unfortunately is not able to join us tonight. We'll be using provisional to get some points here so he doesn't score the big old goose egg. And you can see the asterisks beside the names of the drivers who have picked up wins, and then 3 beside Rodriguez with his 3 wins on the year. So Ken Peck will drop probably for sure out of that 2nd place position. S3 currently sitting in 3rd, coming off his big win last week. And then the aforementioned Travis Rodriguez, 3 wins, but unfortunately 2 12th place finishes over the last 2 weeks have put a slower pace on his season than he would hope. And then 5th place Dave Hara, currently running in 5th on the track at this time, but 5th in the season standings with 1 win at Phoenix to his credit. Then Dave Lafano sits in the 6th, current race leader. Dave already missed a race earlier this year with using a provisional, so has some ground to make up, being at 219 points, and leaders 273 at this point. Snyder, Nelson, Greg Barnett, and Curtis Sobran are your top 10 in the 2025 point standings. And you have Tyrone Neal, Ryan Steinhoff, Cam Harris, Sean Horlander, and Greg Robinson 11 through 15 here in the standings. So that is a look at the 2025 standings here after 6 races in this season. So we'll get that off screen and we will continue to watch the action develop. Looks like we have lost another car as Sean Horlander out of this one after only 97 laps. So 3 cars already out of the race this afternoon. Horlander's 9, Curtis Sobran in the 1, and Johnny Mays 69. So as I mentioned, Greg Barnett out there just turning laps here. Unfortunately, 6 laps down at this point, but picking up positions as more and more cars drop out of this one now. Starting to gain 2 spots on both Horlander and Sobran here as he continues to ride around with his damaged machine. As the leader, Dave Lafano, has his sights set on some more lap traffic just up the front straightaway here on board the driving roof cam. The QFRL roof cam on the number 8 machine down into turn 3 and 4. There you can see the 7. That is Travis Rodriguez right in front of him, the Steinhoff 74. Then the previously mentioned Greg Barnett in that Speed Society 38. All working their butts off here. Try to keep on the lead lap as we come out to complete lap number 126. About 18 laps to go in stage number 1, or sorry, stage number 2 rather, from Martinsville. So they got a little bit of work to do. Still 18 laps before that green and white checker is displayed, and they are safe on the tail end of the lead lap. But they are working hard up there. And we will jump on to the spoiler cam on the Steinhoff 74, looking back at the beat up machine of Travis Rodriguez there, and then a little further back to Officer Lafano there in the number 8 car. As you can see, they are pushing hard to stay up on the lead lap here at the tail end of stage number 2, as we are 128 laps in the book so far this afternoon of 192 laps to go in this one. As we continue though under green flag as Dave Lafano continues to show he is going to be the car to beat here from Martinsville. Driver of that number 8 out of Poland, Maine, continues to flex his muscle early in this one as we get ever so closer to the halfway point, and Larry Barnes will unfortunately fall another lap off the pace. That is 5 laps down for Larry at this point, but doing a great job keeping out of the way of those cars that are running on the lead lap. It's really high that time. If he keeps it out of the fence, he is able to do so as a couple of cars scoot by. Looks like Mike Kurdzlak, though, has some company in the form of Dave Hara as he is fallen back off the bumper of the number 67 onto the front bumper of the 15 here as we work lap 131 will be complete at the line this time. So Kurdzlak battling tough to keep that car up in the 4th position here in the 2nd stage, trying to pick up a few more stage points by finishing in front of Dave Hara in this one. The field works its way through turns 1 and 2 again here on lap 132, sorry. You can see Essery leading with the 67 now in the back straightaway. As you can see now, Lafano up front getting ever so closer to those lap cars. I'm sure as much as he does want to put Travis a lap down, Travis doesn't want him to put him a lap down, but as we work here, 134 will be complete, about 10 laps to go before the end of the stage, so still about 5 miles of racing for the old 7 car to hold off the 8 hard-charging 8 machines staying on that lead lap. And if he only passes Travis, it's not a bad news situation for Travis. He'll be in a lucky dog position, able to get back on the lead lap with the wave around under the caution. But if he gets by both Travis and Steinhoff, that's going to put Rodriguez in a big heap of trouble, as he will be the 2nd car 1 lap down and not eligible for the wave around. So we'll see how this situation plays out. Obviously, we hope that both those cars stay on the lead lap, but we'll see how Lafano will play this out here over the last 8 or so laps of the stage. Obviously has a 1.6 second lead now over Ben Campbell, who is able to get around Essery. So we'll see how that plays out. We'll see this pass Ben made on Chris. Going down the back straightaway, got the nose to the inside there and just drives it in on the bottom. Essery doesn't look like he's going to put up too much of a fight here early in this one, as slide in behind the 67 of Campbell down the front straightaway at the line. So move Ben Campbell up to 2nd, Essery back to 3rd. Now Rodriguez will heed that position, or the lap car position, to Lafano. So Lafano will put Rodriguez down 1 lap here on lap number 138 as they complete it right there at the line. Now he goes to work on the back of the Steinhoff 74 again. Rodriguez isn't in too much trouble quite yet. See if Lafano able to pass Steinhoff before the end of the stage. If not, Rodriguez will be in the driver's seat, being in that lucky dog position. But right now, Lafano closing in on the back of the driver of that 74 machine. Right on board the Gamer 2 Elite spoiler cam on the back of the 74. Lafano drives it in way deep there on the outside. Looks to make the crossover back to the inside. Not going to get a good run off of the turn 4 as we complete 140 at the line. So 4 to go here in stage number 2. Max number 74 putting up a good fight here over the last handful of laps, staying on the tail end of the lead lap, helping Juggles keep that lucky dog position. But as this battle rages on, the gap between Lafano and Campbell is down to about 0.6 of a second. So we'll see if he will continue to ride behind the Steinhoff 74, as Ben is only about 2 or 3 car lengths now behind the driver of that number 8. They come down to the line. Lafano will look to be inside, not able to get quite side by side with the 74 that time in turn 1 and 2. Pit road closing that time too, so we are going to have 2 laps to go here in stage number 2. Again, Campbell right now, right on the back bumper of the 8 car, who didn't want to push the issue with the driver of the 74, but it's got nothing but nothing but pressure now coming from behind him here on the last lap of stage number 2. Holding off the Campbell 67 so far is the Lurfano 8 machine down back into turn 3 and 4. Again, looking to the outside of Steinhoff, going to go the long way around if he can get it done. Not going to pass him, but he's going to drop in line behind Steinhoff here as they come to the line and complete the stage. Got to wait till the 5th car crosses the line. That should be about now, as there you can see the yellow flag displayed for the end of stage number 2. Dave Lurfano goes 2 for 2 in stages this afternoon, picks up 20 championship points to add to his total. And the oh so important 2 playoff bonus points once we get to the start of the 2025 playoffs, which Dave Lurfano should be a part of, as he is off to a strong start here this year. Unfortunately had to miss a race on vacation, but in the 6th place in position, and in a position to maybe win a race here this afternoon as pit road is open and the cars head to the attention of their pit crews. We're going to step away for a quick second while pit stops happen. We'll bring you back on the other side of the break here, and we'll get you the lineup for stage number 3 and the run to the finish here from Martinsville. You're watching the SimWorld Racing Network's presentation of the All-American Racing League Cup Series. The Blue Ridge Mountains 320 from Martinsville, Virginia is on the air as we get set for pit stops. Welcome back to the SimWorld Racing Network. You're watching the All-American Racing League Cup Series, the Blue Ridge Mountains 320 from Martinsville, Virginia. My name is Nathan Christensen, voice of the All-American Racing League Cup Series. So glad you could join us here on Thursday, March 27th, on the air of the SimWorld Racing Network. Caution truck headed to pit road. We'll get set to go back racing. It's going to be Lurfano and Kurdzak. Great job by the pit crew of the 41. He is up to 2nd place as we see a change there. Green flag is back out though, and Kurdzak from the outside road not going to get the best start, as it's going to look like the 4 and possibly the 27 both going to clear Kurdzak on the exit of turn number 2. And not quite for the 27, but he's got the better run to the inside here through turns 3 and 4, as the 27 will work the bottom this time out of turn number 4 back to the stripe. Kurdzak still able to nose ahead of him. He's going to be able to close the door this time. Kurdzak to the bottom, hold on to 3rd, and look behind them. You got the battle between the 27 and the 74. Steinhoff, after surviving a late stage 2 charge on the tail end of the lead lap there, surviving that and staying on the lead lap up to the 5th position here in this one. So a great turn of events there for the driver of the number 74. Back up into contention here in the middle part of the race here as we approach the completion of lap 152. This time at the line, it'll be 168 to go. So handful of laps before we reach the cross flags and halfway mark of the Blue Ridge Mountain 320 here from Martinsville. Right where he left off is the driver of the number 8 machine. Dave Lurfano continues to lead the field here. Down the back straightaway into turn 3 and 4 does that LSPD number 8 machine back out of turn 4 into the stripe there, completing 153. Down to turns 1 and 2. We got issues as the 74 and the 15 get together on the entry of turn 3. The 74 hard into the outside wall after contact from Dave Harris. So let's take a look here at what happened to bring out the caution here on lap 155. So it's just two cars. Looks like they're battling for the same spot. Unfortunately got together on the entry of turn number 3. So we'll take another look at the replay here from a different angle. You can see side by side. Looks like Steinhoff working towards the inside, just not clear of the 15. Made contact together, and that sent the 74 into the outside wall. Take one more look here. You can see Steinhoff start creeping down towards the entry of turn number 3, but not clear of the 15. And Hare's not going to cut him any slack there as the 74 hard into the outside wall, driving that Primax number 74 Camaro, able to roll away. So hopefully not too much damage on the Steinhoff machine as he is on pit road, bringing that car to the attention of his picker. Looks like Tyrone had a bit of an incident also here. See what happened to Tyrone. He just gets in too hot and heavy, gets up into the outside wall. So Tyrone gets the piece of the fence. He is able to continue also on pit road, bringing the attention to his pit crew. But up front, still going to be Dave Lurfano, Esri Kurdzlak now in third, Cam Harris and Ben Campbell back into the top 5 after the incident between the 74 and the 15 there on bringing out that caution. Oh, I spoke too soon. Looks like Hera is actually in 5th, just flip-flopping positions there with the Campbell 74, or 67 rather, I apologize. Excuse me, Dave Lurfano, still the leader here, 748 laps led on the afternoon. Should be about 150 here by the time we get going. Again, looking for the halfway point here in a handful of laps as we are getting closer to that. Obviously 320 divided by 2 works out to be about 160, so just a couple laps away. One to go signal given to the field that time. The driver of the 8 chooses the bottom. S3 will go to the outside. Row 2 will be Kurdzlak in the 41 and Cam Harris in the 27. Row 3 will be Dave Hera and Ben Campbell. Row 4 looks to be the Snyder 26 and the Nelson 75. Steinhoff and Rodriguez back there in row number 5. And then Tyrone Yo on the tail end of the lead lap, I believe. Nope, 2 laps down at this point. So we get set to go back racing here. They roll into the Geico restart zone. Green flag back out in the air. They stumble, they bumble, they rumble back down to turn number 1. Lurfano on the bottom gets the preferred groove and a good jump out of turn 1 and 2. On the back straightaway, the move though is for second as Kurdzlak looks to the inside of Esri this time through 3 and 4. Esri's going to try to pinch him down. They make contact. That's going to get the 4 up the track. Gets a little bit of a bump from the 27. Esri pointed the wrong way on the exit of turn number 2. He's going to bring out the caution. Didn't hit anything. Got a little nudge from the back of the 27. Which brought out the caution here. We'll take another look. So him and the 41 get together and then just loses the back traction of the wheels on the 4 car. He spins it out sideways, sitting sideways at a turn number 4. Not the place you want to be, but unfortunately for him, no one gets into the back of him. So almost had it saved. This is a small nudge from the 27 will bring out that caution here on lap number 160. Lurfano, Kurdzlak, Harris, Snyder, Campbell, Nelson, Steinhoff is how they will come to the caution flag. So some cars obviously headed down pit road. Looks like Steinhoff, Rodriguez, Larry Garnes, Greg Barnett all bringing their cars to the attention of their pit crew. It looks like the lucky dog free pass. That'll go to Tyrone Yo. So Tyrone was 2 laps down at that last caution. He is going to get one of those 2 laps back. And that is going to move Dave Hera into 3rd, Chad Snyder back into 4th, and Ben Campbell to 5th. So a little bit of a shake-up there in the top 5 as the Esri number 4 on the wrong end of that one, sitting again sideways out of turn number 4. Not the best place to be spun out, but avoids contact from any other cars. They all made it by free and clear, so he will rejoin the field at the tail end here, and it's got some work to do here over the last 159 laps as we've just crossed over the halfway point. It's all downhill from here to get to the end of this one. So it'll be 162 complete when they come back around to the stripe. Should, I would imagine, get the 1 to go signal, and we should be racing as we come out of turn 4 next time. Yep, the 1 to go signal is given. That's going to put the 8 car in command of the field as they work down the back straight. It's going to be Rodriguez and Kurdzlek in row number 1. Hera and Snyder in row 2. Campbell and Nelson make up row number 3. Headed for the Geico restart zone this time. Out of turn number 4, the field rolls there slowly into the Geico restart zone. Ready to set, go back, racing to the flag. Goes back out as the field stumbles and rumbles right into your living room here into turn number 1. Out of turn 1, the lead's going to go back to the 8 of Lerfano. Now Hera in the 15. Great spot to be in that inside of row number 2. He's going to work to the inside of Kurdzlek this time through 3 and 4. Get that pass done by the time they get to the exit. Move Dave Hera back into 2nd position after running all the way back in the 7th position earlier in the afternoon. So Hera back to 2nd, Kurdzlek 3rd, Snyder back up to 4th, and then Campbell sitting in the 5th position here. As we work lap 166 at the line. We'll start that lap as you see Lerfano out front still dominating this one. Over the 15, the 41 of Kurdzlek, Snyder, Campbell, Nelson, Esri already back up to 7th. Steinhoff, Cam Harris, Travis Rodriguez, your top 10, all on the lead lap. Tyrone Yo still down 1 lap to the field. He currently runs in the 11th position. Pass on the track as Rodriguez looks to the outside and gets around the Harris number 27 down into turn 1 and 2. Got a bit of the speed wobbles, did the 7, able to hold on to it. He will continue to chase down now the 74 in front of him. Up front, though, continues to be the same 3 cars leading the way. That is Lerfano, Hera, Kurdzlek. There is Chad Snyder right there. Again, fresh paint job for the driver, that number 26, the Blues Race Designs. Rebellion Graphics, Assault Motorsports, number 26, as he works his way down through turn 3 and 4. Again, there's a great shot of that number 26. Home state race for the number 26 of Chad Snyder. Chad out of Mineral, Virginia. As he is right there racing here tonight at Martinsville. He is feeling some pressure though right now in 4th from the 67 of Ben Campbell. Obviously Ben, a great, as I mentioned, great short track racer looking to flex his muscle at one of his favorite events here on the 2025 season schedule. Obviously Bristol and Martinsville, the 2 races that Ben looks forward to the most. Never ask him about a super speedway race because he has a strong opinion about those, and they are not a positive one, I tell you that much. But he does love his short track racing as he works on the back bumper of the 26 of Snyder here on lap 171 this afternoon. A little further back right behind them is another battle brewing as Chris Esri, after his incident a few laps ago, already back up to the 7th spot, but on the bumper and pressing hard on the Jim Nelson 75. Again, James Nelson, I apologize, not the easiest driver in the field to pass is the Nelson 75. Again, takes some unorthodox lines into the corners because it's just what works for him and gets that car through the corner as quickly as possible. You can see him take a very shallow entry into turn 1 and 2 there, so not giving much room on the underside of the 75 for anyone to make a move. So Esri is going to have to just ride around here until the opportunity arises where he's able to either get in the inside or make the power move around the outside. As I say that, though, Esri looks to his inside down into turn 1 and 2, and Nelson will give him the bottom down into turn 1. Doesn't want to force the issue here. There's still a lot of laps to go here, 147 to be exact, 146 at the line this time, so Nelson will bide his time, see if he can get back up to the bumper of the 4 car, who's now back into 6 and looking to move up and get on the back bumper of the 67 here through the end of stage of the race. And we have a caution on the track. Looks like an issue for Larry Garnes has brought out the caution on the track. We'll take a look, see what happened here to Larry. Just gets Rear end loose off of turn number 4 and hard into the inside wall with some cars coming behind him. So very carefully and gingerly gets that car turned back around, but not before the caution comes out here from Martinsville. So able to get that car pointed back in the right direction. So back under caution this afternoon from Martinsville. We got 175 laps complete, 10th caution of the afternoon, unfortunately, here for the leader, Dave Lorfano. Handful of cars hitting pit road here under this opportunity. You can see them now just getting to their pit stops, or their pit boxes rather. Just see some tires and some fuel going in these cars again. Probably can make it all the way to the end without having to stop here in stage 3, but when given the opportunity, most of these guys are going to take advantage of it. Race off of pit road. Looks like Nelson is going to win that battle as long as he wasn't speeding. He'll come out in front of the SRE4. And there you can see, looks like Tyrone Yo will get the wave around again for the second caution in a row, as they'll move him back onto the lead lap. A few stragglers coming off of pit road now just as the caution truck gets to them, so they will stay on the lead lap here in this one. But up front, Dave Lorfano continues to lead the way here over the 8, in the 8 rather, over the 15 of Hera. Then you have the 41 of Kurtzlek, the 26 of Snyder. Campbell in his number 67 rounds out the top 5. After the pit stop cycle, James Nelson, Chris Esri, Cam Harris, Travis Rodriguez, and Ryan Steinhoff are 6th through 11th, 10th. And then Tyrone Yo, coming off of pit road after taking his wave around, will start in the 11th position. Larry Garnes, Greg Barnett, the only other 2 cars on track at this time. Garnes 8 laps down, Barnett 9. And then 3 cars out of this race will not make it to the end. That is Sean Horlander's 9, Curtis Sovereign's number 1, and Johnny May's number 69, all unable to make it to the end of this one. Field is doubled up this time out of turn number 2, 2 by 2. You got Lorfano and Hera. They got Kurdzlek and Snyder, Campbell and Nelson in row number 3. Row 4 is Essery and the 27 of Harris. Then Rodriguez, Steinhoff, and Tyrone Yo will be the restart order this time out of turn number 4. Control car still the number 8 of Dave Lorfano into the Geico restart zone. Green flag is back out, and we are racing here on lap 180. Inside is for second is Kurdzlek, starting in that second row inside, as we got trouble now as big contact from the 4 to the 75 and the 7 all involved in this one. So a 3-car pileup halfway down the back straightaway before we even make it around 1 lap, as we are back under caution here on lap 180. So green and caution on the same lap. We'll take a look here at the replay. Contact between the 75, 4, and 7. As Snyder got way high on that one, and then trying to keep it off the Snyder machine, the 75 and Nelson got down into the Essery 4, and then a big bump from the 7 car finished the job off, spinning out the driver of the number 75. So again, just trying to keep the 75 off of the 26, and Rodriguez nowhere really to go as they got really slowed down right in front of him, and then he just unfortunately punted the back end of the 4 car into the 75, and finishing off that accident was the 75 facing the wrong way. So rough afternoon for some of these drivers, in particular James Nelson in the 75, the 7 of Rodriguez not having the cleanest race. Lots of bumping and banging here in this one, so we will continue to see if we keep calling under caution here after the restarts, but we'll try it again here as we get set and a couple of laps to go back. Green flag race, and Lorfano continues to lead as we click off laps under caution. Looks like it'll still be him and Dave Hera on the front row. Looks like Kurdzlek might have went to pit road. Yes, Kurdzlek makes a pit stop, so he's going to drop from his, I believe, 2nd place back. He will restart in and around the 8th position on this restart. Just going to move Hera back to the outside of the front row, so not ideal place to restart, unfortunately, here for Hera in this one, as he will be outside Dave Lorfano as the 1 to go signal given that time at the line. Ben Campbell, and it looks like Chad Snyder will be in row number 3. Then you'll have Cam Harris and the aforementioned James Nelson involved in that action. Didn't come to pit road, so gained a couple spots getting around the cars that did. Then that's where you'll find the Kurdzlak 41 and the Tyrone Yo number 2. So Tyrone back on the lead lap, up running in the 8th position here on lap 184 as we get set to go back racing. 184 complete, 136 to go this time at the line for Dave Lafano as he slowly works his way through 3 and 4. Green flag back in the air, and we are back racing for Martinsville. So fingers crossed we can make it around one time before we see another caution. Is now Lafano gets way high that time through 1 and 2. That's going to open the door for a slow up from the 15 to make sure he doesn't get in the back of the 8, and that's going to open the door rather for the 67 of Campbell, this time off of turn number 4. Campbell to the inside, Hare to the outside, back down to turn number 1. They go, the battle is on for second as Ben Campbell disappears, but oh, there he is. He's back as they work their way down the back straightaway. Campbell able to clear Hare. He'll slip up in front of the number 15 machine that time down the back straightaway as they're working off of turn number 4. We will now look to chase down the driver, the number 8 up front, Dave Lafano's LSPD Camaro. Battle on a little further back now as Kurdzlak looks to the inside of Cam Harris. That's going to be a battle for 4th and 5th. Kurdzlak in the preferred bottom line. Harris going to get caught out there. He might lose 2 spots that lap. Not quite on the same lap, but now Esser will go to the bottom on the inside this time through 1 and 2, and he's going to try to bring Chad Snyder with him. So Campbell on the one-way train going the wrong way, caught on the outside, loses 3 positions in a lap and a half, able to get back to the bottom in front of the Steinhoff 74, but not until he goes 4th to 7th. Up front though, Dave Lafano leads this one, but not so comfortably as it was before, as he's got the number 67 of Ben Campbell breathing down his neck this time. Through turns 3 and 4 will ride on board the QFR roof cam on top of the number 67 driver. Out of Hudson, North Carolina, that is Ben Campbell. Looks to make a move to the outside, no room there. Lafano closes that door as they work back to 3 and 4, continuing to press on the back bumper of the number 8 car is the 67 down the front straightaway. Again, Ben started in the 15th position this afternoon after missing qualifying. The caution is out on the track as we have a car facing the wrong way. It looks to be the 74 of Steinhoff. Comes to a slow as we see if we can find a replay. Oh, Rodriguez into the back of the 74, gets the 74 almost into the wall, able to get those tires locked up and gets that car stopped before he makes contact with the wall. Let's take another look at that as we're going to see. Oh, too late. We'll take another look from this replay here as the 7 just drives through the back bumper of the 74. Looks to maybe the second car he's gotten into that same way here in this race. So Travis just a bit of trouble getting on the brakes too late and getting into the back of some of these cars. Unfortunately, bringing out another caution is Steinhoff there on pit road. You can see him bringing it to the attention of his picker himself, Tyrone. Travis on pit road also. Greg Barnett back down pit road. Up front though, again, Lafano continues to lead this one as we approach the lap 200 mark, as we have 192 laps in the book this time off of turn number 4 for the driver of the number 8 machine out of Poland, Maine. Change also in the fastest lap of the race battle, as that now belongs to Dave Lafano. He's gone quick lap of 19.418, so 19.418 the fastest lap now for Dave Lafano. Looks like let's see who's in second. A 14.67, a 14.443. So it looks like Dave Hara is in second. What is Esri? 14.58. So no, yeah, it's right now it's Lafano, then Dave Hara, then it looks to be 6.758. So it'll be Esri in third. So those are your 3 fastest laps on the afternoon right there. The 19.47 of Dave Lafano, then the Hara 14.442, and then the Esri 19.458. looks like the one to go signal has been given to the field as they double up off the exit of turn 2, headed down the back straightaway. Lurfano and Campbell, Hera and Kurdzlak, Essery and Snyder, Harris and Nelson, Trironio and Steinhoff make up your restart order here as they work their way through turn 3 and 4. Again, first car to fire will be the 8 of Lurfano. He's got the 67 on his outside and the 15 behind him, so look for Hare to get a good jump here on the restart. He does. 67 caught a little bit sleeping there. Hare's going to be able to clear him by the time they get to 1. That might be good for the Campbell 67, but he's going to let another car squeak by on the inside, so now the top 3 look like it's going to be Lurfano, Hera, Essery, then Ben Campbell able to get back down to the bottom in front of Kurdzlak there on the exit of 4. And then behind Kurdzlak will be the Snyder 26 as they work their way. Excuse me, turn 1 and 2. Lurfano pulls away a little bit here over the Hare machine, Essery, then the 67 again in 4th place. These are the couple spots we run that outside on the restart in this early in this one. Work our way around on lap 197. See the driver of the number 8 machine still leading the way as Essery and Campbell both now battling with Dave Hare, who might have missed the corner in turn number 1, letting the door, opening the door there for those guys to get by. We'll take a look here, see what happened on the entry of turn number 1. So Essery just looks to be in the side. Hare not able to close the door, and Essery will make that move look easy down into turn 1 and 2. Campbell flip-flopping, flashing away there on the exit. He's able to clear him too a little bit later as Essery and Campbell now into the 2nd and 3rd position. Hera back to 4th here on lap 199 as Lurfano has got company again. Essery looking to close the gap 3/10, 4/10 of a second. The difference now between those two cars out of turn number 4. He'll complete lap 199 at the line. 1:21 to go that time for the 8 of Lurfano. Down the back straightaway, still the same top 3. Hare 4th, Kurdzlak 5th, Snyder 6th, Nelson 7th, Steinhoff 8th, Harris 9th, and Tyrone Yo in the 10th position. Last car on the lead lap is that number 10 spot. Looks like we might have lost Travis Rodriguez. Maybe not. He's still on pit road getting some damage fixed possibly. Yeah, still sitting on pit road, but not out on the track making laps. So going the wrong way here in this one is the 7 of Rodriguez. Another disappointing outing for the driver out of San Antonio, Texas. Another finish outside the top 10 after 3 wins to start the season. 12th, 2nd, 12th, and now currently looking to finish in the 13th position here in this one. So the streak of bad luck continues for the driver of the number 7. The driver on the other end of the spectrum this afternoon is the driver of the number 8. Dave Lurfano continues to work here under the green with 203 laps complete this time at the line. Although Dave has not had the best season so far, only 1 top 10 finish on the year, as he's finished 11th 3 times, 12th once, and 4th last week at Homestead. So turned his season around, maybe starting with that race last week from Homestead. And we'll see if he's able to back it up here with a solid finish in this one with 204 laps complete, 116 to go at the line here for the Lurfano number 8, as he looks to pick up his first win of the 2025 season. Last year did Lurfano at Daytona, Atlanta, and then Michigan. So no stranger to victory lane. It's been a while since he's been there. Last race he won was July 23rd last season at Michigan on a last lap, last corner pass, sniping the victory out of the hands of both the driver of the 99, that was Brenden Mathia, and 2024 champion Alan Bledsoe, who battled for most of that race, but coming to the line, Dave Lurfano scored the victory, as I mentioned, out of the last turn, picking up that win. But right today, he is leading this one and looking to be the dominating car so far this afternoon. He's picked up both of the stage wins here already. Has the current fastest lap of the race. Oh! Esri drives it in way too deep and almost wiped him right out. That was some good brake work and evasive driving by the driver of that number 4 car, because that had disaster written all over it as Esri got way too deep into turn 3 and 4 and locking them up to avoid the back of the number 8 machine, and both of them able to continue. But that was could have went really bad really quickly for both those guys up front. Ben Campbell's eyes probably got pretty wide seeing those two guys almost get together on the entry of turn 3. But Esri able to settle it back in now. He'll have to close the gap. He's got a little bit of work to do now as that lead is back up to about 0.8 of a second for Lafano at the line that time. 2:10 complete. 110 to go as we get down to the 100 lap to go mark here in this one from Martinsville. The Blue Ridge Mountains 320 on the SimWorld Racing Network. As we are just after 10 o'clock Eastern time here from the SimWorld Racing Network broadcast studio. Glad you are with us here tonight on the air. Happy to bring this to you every week. With that said, bad news, no broadcast next week. I will be unavailable and on vacation, so no broadcast from Darlington next Thursday or Friday, as we will not be on the air as we have trouble, as it looks like the car got loose off of turn 2. That was the Kurzlek 41. Looks like he has been able to continue though, so no real damage for the 41, just a loss of a couple positions as he's still under his own power and headed in the right direction, but now running back in the 6th position, so able to keep it pointed in the right direction and headed to the back towards the front. So we'll take a look here. So we're going to see, oh yeah, the 41 just gets the inside of Hera. Now doesn't make any contact, but uses the rear end and gets a few cars. Only one car actually gets by him. That's the Snyder 26. So move Snyder up one position here, but Kurzlek back into the position here as we have another caution out, as it looks like Steinhoff has got himself in trouble off of turn number 4. Caution out on lap number 215 rather. Here we'll take a look, see what happened to Steinhoff. So just gets it up on the curb and kind of wheels hops the car. Some good driving by Larry Garnes to avoid that one, as caution already out though as Steinhoff pulls away. Tyrone Yo will get on the binders and make sure he doesn't get into Steinhoff. We'll take one more look at the replay here of that. So we'll watch him bounce it off the inside curb here. Will hops it and just gets it around and nudges it into the fence a little bit. Gets it back pointed in the right direction and continues on his way. He'll bring it down pit road to the attention of his pit crew, and so will every other car on the track by the looks of it. Pit lane is a busy spot to be. You can see the field heading towards their pit stalls. Probably four tires and a full set of Goodyear tires. Oh my goodness. Whew. Full tank of Sunoco fuel and 4 Goodyear tires will be the name of the game, as Dave Lafano will win the race off of pit road. Looks like he will beat out Ben Campbell, Dave Hera, Chad Snyder, Kurzlek, and then I believe that is Cam Harris's 27. And you see Tyrone Yo and Esseri's car making their way to the end of pit road. The 75 and the 74 got to get going here. They're going to be chopped liver if they don't make it out. They look like they do. Everyone makes it back out in front of the pace car, which is in control of the field. And the first car behind it will be the 38. That's Greg Barnett. He will look to go back up 1 lap. So currently 9 laps down. This will put him back up 8 laps off the pace. But the car behind him, the number 8 machine, Dave Lafano, leader off of pit road, will be the control car for the restart here on about lap number 218, 219, I think. Let's see if we get the one to go signal this time. That'll be the determining factor. So yeah, lights are out on the pace car. Barnett will take the wave around, as we will be 219 laps complete next time by for Lafano. Will be 101 to go as we get set to hopefully race this one out to the end here. Fresh set of tires, a full tank of fuel for everyone on track. So again, no need to come back down pit road unless you want to chance it and get some fresher tires. But it's very hard, obviously, been very hard to pass here tonight. So you want to minimize the pit stops and maximize the on-track time, because you don't want to have to pass guys here towards the end of the race, as aggression will probably pick up as they get down to the nitty-gritty. Green flag back in the air here as we complete lap number 219. 101 to go this time at the line for the driver of the number 8 machine out of turn number 2. Continues to lead. Dave Lurfano, the battle is on for second. Both Ben Campbell and Dave Hare go at it side by side. Campbell again got stuck on the outside there on the front row. He's going to lose a spot potentially here to the number 15 down the back front straightaway. But he's going to drive it in deep on the top. Use that momentum to power around him. Sorry, the 15 car is still battling on the inside. Can he clear him into turn 3 and 4? Not quite yet. Going to try to pinch him down as Hare will try to pinch him up. They get a little side-by-side contact on the exit of turn number 4. This is quite the battle, but now Hare is going to prevail, and Kurdzlak looks to close that hole, get to the inside of Campbell down the back straightaway, able to do that down into 3 and 4. It goes to 41 on the inside, so the 67 now 2 spots negative on that restart. He's just slide in line behind the 41 in front of Snyder's 26. So Campbell will have to regroup here and go back to work here on lap 123. Ooh, loose off of turn number 2 that time. Snyder's not going to go to the outside. He's going to think better of that and tuck down in line behind the driver of the 67 this time through 3 and 4. Campbell, though, holding on to that 4th place position, but after starting second on that restart, not the spot he wants to be in. Down the back straightaway they go, under 100 laps left in this one. Dave Lurfano continues to lead here. Second place, Dave Hare. Kurdzlak now up back into that 3rd spot is the driver of the 41. Snyder and Campbell facing the wrong way. Something happened to him off of turn number 4. We'll take a look here at the replay. A little hard into the inside wall. Not exactly sure what happened there to Ben Campbell, but definitely some serious front end damage for that 67 as he has slowed drastically and then gets into the inside wall one more time. So maybe some equipment issues for the driver of that 67. Seems to have got it back sorted out and headed back in the right direction on track, but definitely something not working properly in that 67, and that's going to bring out the caution here on this one. Oh, we have another car around also. Looks to be the 74 of Steinhoff, so not exactly sure which one of those incidents brought out the caution, but Ben definitely struggling here with that 67. We'll take a look at what happened to Steinhoff on the back straightaway. So just loses the back end, makes contact with that inside wall. Barnett and Tyrone able to avoid, so does Larry Garn. So that is probably what brought out the caution, but at the same time, Campbell struggling on his entrance to turn number 1, so just loses the car and gets hard into the outside wall, and then drives back down across the wall. Track, gets it back going, but poor turn of events for the driver of the 67. Strong run developing here after starting 15th and running up in 2nd, 3rd, or 4th for a good part of this race. Now on pit road, looking to get some damage fixed, and that car not as working as well as it has been. That is for sure here in this stage. Up front though, driver that's been in control of this race since the get-go, driver of the number 8, Dave Lurfano in the LSPD Camaro. Works his way off of turn number 4. See if we get the 1 to go signal. Nope, not this time. Still the lights on the pace truck, so next time we should get the 1 to go signal. But in the meantime, we are still under caution here from Martinsville. It's going to be Lurfano and Hera on row 1, Kurdzlak, Chad Snyder row 2, Cam Harris, Chris Essery row 3, Nelson and Tyrone Yo make up row 4. That should be Ryan Steinhoff and Campbell if he rejoins us, but he is getting that car is on pit road getting some work done as he has already lost a lap here under caution as the Campbell 67. So it doesn't look like he is going to make it back out for this restart. But up front, it's going to be the 8 and the 15 on row 1. You got 41 and 26 in row 2. 27 and 7, the 2 Mobil 1 cars. Or 27 and 4, rather, the 2 Mobil 1 cars. Make up row 3. And then Nelson and Tyrone in row number 4. So we'll get side by side on the exit of turn number 2. Lights are off on the iRacing. Pace truck will be racing this time out of turn number 4 as we will come to the completion of lap 230. 90 laps to get us to the end of this one if we can make it there. Let's cross our fingers and hope for a good run to the finish here from Martinsville. SimWorld Racing Network's presentation of the All-American Racing League Cup Series. The Blue Ridge 320 is back green from Martinsville. Turn 1 and 2, Hera able to hold on to that second position, wasn't allowing Kurgelek to get to the inside, so Hera holds on to second. Kurgelek third, Snyder and Harris to round out your top 5 here in this one as we work through turn number 3 and 4. Back down to the stripe we go. A great afternoon developing here for the driver of that number 41 car. Points leader Mike Kurgelek leads the way here so far this season. 4 top 10s and 5 top 10s and 6 races. The other race finished at Atlanta in 14th position, but continues to lead here in the standings, running in 3rd, looking for back-to-back podium finishes here with the quick All-American Racing League Series, race number 7 from Martinsville. Up front, though, Dave Lafano looking to pick up his 2nd top 10 of the year, only here in race number 7. Fair to say it hasn't been the year Dave has expected here early in this one, but this could turn his season around after a 4th place last week at Homestead, looking to win here at Martinsville, one of his preferred tracks, and a track he does extremely well on week in and week out when we come here. As you can see so far this afternoon showing he is the man to beat, flexing his muscle here for the first 236 laps of this one. Behind him continues to be the 15 of Dave Hera. He has 1 win on the year and then 4 top 5s. Sorry, 4 top 10s, 2 top 5s, a win, and a 14th and a 15th place respectively in 2 races. So again, a good start to the year for Dave. A couple of races where he's outside of the top 10 that I'm sure he'd like to have back. One of those being Daytona at the start of the year, and then 2 weeks ago at Las Vegas, an incident involving his teammate actually unfortunately took them both out of competition for the win last 2 weeks ago from Las Vegas. But now this week they're up front, running at the front of this one here as they work their way out of turn number 4. Complete lap number 238 that time, 82 to go at the line here from Martinsville. 320 is the total distance, so cooking them off here at stage number 3. We work our way to the end of this one. As the top 5 look like this on track, you have Dave Lafano and Dave Hera again leading the way. Kurgelek in 3rd right there, looking for his 2nd 3rd place finish in a row. Right behind him is Chad Snyder's 26, and then Cam Harris in the 27 round out the top 5. So let's take a look, see what the results Chad Harris has put together. Chad Snyder has put together here this year. 2 6th to 7th, a 2nd at Atlanta, and a 13th to start the season. And obviously, unfortunately, missed last week's race. Just wasn't feeling well, so had to sit out last week, but back on the track tonight. So looking to get a strong finish here within the top 5 for his race here at Martinsville. And then we'll take a look to see how the season of Cam Harris has been going. 4 races completed this year, but all of them inside the top 10, 4 top 10s and 2 top 5s so far on the year for the driver of that Mobile 127. Best finish coming out of Atlanta in 4th place, 2nd race of the 2025 season. So some drivers looking to pick up wins. It looks like Esri caught a piece of the wall there, that time off of turn 2, able to continue. He was though. Still Lafano leading the way by about 0.8 of a second. Back to Dave Hare, Kurgelek, Snyder, Harris, Esri, James Nelson, Ryan Steinhoff, Tyrone Yo, the top 9 all on the lead lap 2 laps down. In 10th is Ben Campbell. Larry Garnes 4 off the pace in 11th. Greg Barnett 8 laps down in 12th. Other cars out of the race at this time. Travis Rodriguez in 13th. Sean Horlander in 14th. Curtis Sauber in 15th. And Johnny Mays event came to a completion after only 11 laps this afternoon for the 69 machine. But up front continues to be Dave Rafano leading the way in this one as we get down to approximately 75 to go this time at the line. Continue to watch this car up front, but the battle may be shaping up here for second shortly as Kurdzlak right there on the back bumper of the driver of the 15 machine. That is Dave Hara on board the Gamer 2 Elite spoiler cam, looking back into the eyes of Mike Kurdzlak as he works through turns 1 and 2. Down the back straightaway they go, most of tail into turn 3 and 4. Right up on the back bumper that time is the Kurdzlak 41. Avoids contact, but gets a good run. Off does the 15, so he's going to open a little bit of a gap, but Kurdzlak will go back to work here on lap 249. Continues to open up a bit of a gap ever so slightly, almost up to about a second now. This time at the line is the gap between first and second, 1.07 seconds. The gap between the driver of the number 8 and the driver of the number 15. You can see those brakes just a-glowing every time they get on them hard and heavy down into the corners there. As the 8 car works his way out of turn 4 back to the stripe. 251 complete, 69 to go at the line. Continues to push here late in this one. He's going to continue to open that lead slowly and slowly as the laps wind down. Just to recap the results from last week, Chris Essery, winner of that one, Dave Harris second, Mike Kurdzlak third. Rafano fourth, Roddy Uberpacker picked up fifth, Sauber and Garnes Barnett, James Nelson and Tyrone Know your top 10, Ken Pack, Travis Rodriguez, and Johnny May and Ryan Steinhoff. The cars running in that one. Sean Horlander and Chad Steiner both took provisionals last week to join in at the tail end of the race to get some points. So Dave Hara and Kurdzlak looking to repeat their second and third place finishes just with a different car in front of this week, as obviously Lorfano continues to lead this one. We'll keep our eyes on the 15 and the 41 to see if they are able to get in a battle here for second over the last 65 laps of this one. 255 complete that time at the line for Lorfano. Up to 247 laps led on the afternoon. We're going to take our last break of the evening here tonight from the SimWorld Racing Network's presentation of the All-American Racing League Cup Series, the Blue Ridge Mountains 320 as they come around to complete lap number 259 of this one. We'll be right back on the other side of this break. Welcome back to the SimWorld Racing Network's presentation of the All-American Racing League Cup Series here for the Blue Ridge Mountains 320 from Martinsville Speedway. As while we are away, Dave Lafano continues to lead this one, 264 laps complete, as he is leading over the 15 of Dave Hara and the 41 of Mike Kurdzlak here as we come across the line to complete 265, 55 to go. That time for the driver of the number 8 car. Looked like Cam Harris was going to poke a nose under the 26 there down the front straightaway, but fought better bit and tucked back in line. He'll try to go back to work, make a move here on the 26 over these last 54 or so laps, see if he can get up into the 4th position, currently running in 5th on the track. It's Lafano, Dave Hara, Mike Kurdzlak, Chad Center, Cam Harris for top 5. Then we take a look back, 6th place there. The 4 of Esri, back behind him in 7th is the Nelson 75. Ryan Steinhoff in 8th, 9th, last car on the lead lap. Nope, must have lost a lap while we were away at the break. That is Tyrone Hill 1 lap down. And then behind him is the Ben Campbell 67. 2 laps off the pace after getting into the wall a couple times there. But up front, it continues to be a show for the ages here for the number 8 machine. Dave Lafano leads this one, 268 complete. Down the back straightaway they go here as we're just about 50 laps left in this one from Martinsville. Harris looking to reel in Lafano a little bit. It's got that lead down to about 4 or 5 tenths of a second, half second off the back of the number 8 machine. So Lafano might be backing off the pace a little bit here as the run goes on. We got 49 laps to go this time at the line though, as Harris again has got that lead down to about half a second now, up to 6 tenths. So fluttering between half a second and 6 tenths, 7 tenths, 3/4 of a second difference between first and second. That time though, Lafano stretches it out a little bit down the back straightaway, so if he's saving, he's probably not saving much as they work back down across the line. Turn number 2 and down the back straightaway, still Lafano leading the way. Looks like we're going to have a lap car here in a matter of a couple of laps. That looks to be the Larry Garnes number 20. As Larry gets into the inside wall, as I was talking about him, not really the announcer's curse. He made hard contact with the inside wall. Looks like we're going to have a battle here for this position. Now Larry spins it out again. That might bring out the caution if we're not careful. No caution quite yet, but Cam Harris does get by Snyder's 26, so move Harris up to 4. Snyder back into that 5th spot. We'll take a look. And this is going to battle over a couple of laps here because we see some back and forth. Oh, no, that's too far back. Here we go. This is the pass here. Got a little dicey there with the 20 on the inside, but Snyder did the gentlemanly thing, left Harris enough room as well. Oh, the yellow flag is... Oh, yes it is. Yellow flag on the track. We will take a look to see what happened here. Looks like maybe the 69 did actually end up bringing it out as he got spun here, and then just sat against the inside wall. Looks like that brought out the yellow, as he wasn't able to get off that wall, and he jumped to the pits maybe. So just not able to get off the wall was the driver of the 20. Not sure what happened, but finally brought out the yellow. Not quite sure. The caution still isn't out, is that? They continue to go by him on this replay. Everyone on pit low. Oh, we watched this. Everyone headed down pit road. There, the yellow is out now. So that was enough. Not sure what. Again, not sure what brought out the yellow, but it's or what triggered it. But Larry Garn sitting on the inside for 2 or 3 laps definitely didn't help the situation. But we're back live at the end of pit stops. Looks like Lerfano is going to win that race off of pit road. He will be the leader. Looks like it's going to be Hara, Kurtzlek, Harris, Snyder. So no change in the top 5 from when they went in. Looks like a couple cars are going to take the wave around. Barnett and Campbell between between Lerfano and the pace truck. So that means they will get the wave around when we go back to white and move Campbell back to 1 lap down and move Barnett to 7 laps down. So we'll see how that plays out here once we get the white flag, but still under caution here in this one. 277 laps to go here in the 320 that we're looking to run. The Blue Ridge Mountains 320 here from beautiful Martinsville, Virginia. Let's taking a look here. Air temperature a little chilly for a race afternoon. 67 degrees currently. 75 degree track temperature. About currently 10 mile an hour winds, gusting up to 14 miles an hour. Mostly cloudy out there today. Humidity at 83%. So we get set to go back racing as we look here, and we have a 2x2 restart order. Lerfano and Hara, Kurtzlek and Harris, Snyder and James Nelson in row 3. Then you have Steinhoff back there on that last row by himself. A couple more cars will join the tail end of the field after taking the wave around and the lucky dog. There they are, as we are back to green flag racing, and the 8 car gets a good jump on the inside there. Hara on the outside. Looks like he's going to be under attack from the Kurtzlek 41 down the back straightaway. Still side by side into turn number 3 and 4 for Kurtzlek in the 41. And then the 15 of Hara, he is able to clear him. The Kurtzlek machine able to clear Hara. Hara not quite yet able to get back down on the bottom, as he's going to be in some trouble if he doesn't. He can though, as that'll keep the 26 of Snyder at bay as they go back to work off of turn number 4. 39 laps to go for Lerfano, Kurtzlek, Harris, Snyder. Harris has been Snyder back around Harris. Obviously it started on the inside, so able to get back around the 27 on that restart was the driver of the 26. So they work back down through 3 and 4. So it'll be Hara, but Kurtzlek now up into second. Excuse me. Harris and Snyder a little further back. Then you have Essery, who's going to look to be on a charge, who locks the brakes up after a big dive into turn number 1, thinking he could get to the inside of Harris. Thinks better of that though, and slots himself back in line this time. Through 3 and 4 they go, single file all the way through the top 10 cars, or top 7 cars or so, as Essery there in 6. Nelson right now running in the 7th spot. And then you have Steinhoff on the lead lap, and Tyrone Yo took the wave around, so he is back on the lead lap. Looks like the caution is back out for a spin involving what looks to be the 27. So let's take a look here at what happened. I bring out the caution. Oh, so Essery just getting into the rear quarter panel of the 27, not able to save it, spins it out, avoids contact from anyone else behind him, but here you can see Cam went in a little high to cut it back down low, and then Essery just tried to fill the gap and got into the left rear quarter panel of the 27. Campbell able to swerve to avoid, everyone else does the same. Harris able to get it righted and headed back in the right direction. So some more cars headed down pit road here late in this one. The top 5 all stay out. Looks like it's going to be Lerfano, Kurdzlek, Harris, Snyder, and Nelson, the car staying on track, as well as the 27, the car that brought out the caution after getting some contact from the 4 machine there. Looks like a wave around will go to the driver of the 38, possibly. Not sure. I think it looks like the 38 ended up getting the wave around, so he will get one more of those laps back to 6 laps down for the Barnett 38. As the rest of the cars filing themselves off of pit road. Last car is going to be the Steinhoff 74 here, joining the tail end of the field now on the exit of the corner. Still going to be Dave Lerfano up front. Kurdzlek, who will be the unlucky recipient of the 2nd place restarting position, so that is going to move Kurdzlek to the outside of the front row in a position that has not worked well for the car that has been out there, other than the one restart where Dave Hara was able to hold on to the outside after the restart. But for the most part, excuse me, the driver on the inside of the 2nd row has been able to get that 2nd place spot away from the guy on the outside of the front row. So see how this plays out. Kurdzlek probably going to be a little more aggressive here than he would have been earlier in the race from this 2nd position. Lights are out on the iRacing pace track. 1 lap to go before we get back to green flag racing. Lerfano and Kurdzlek, row 1. Hara and Snyder in row 2. Nelson and Harris in row 3. Essery and Tyrone Yo in the 4th row. Then you got Steinhoff, Ben Campbell, Greg Barnett, Larry Garnes, all at the tail end of this one, all on track. Still got 12 cars running this afternoon out of the 16 started as they roll into the Geico restart zone. First car to fire has got to be that number 8. He does, gets a good jump there on the inside. There, Kurdzlek, though, holding on strong to that outside line. Might have position here on the outside to be able to sneak down in front of Dave Hara at least. He is clear of the back of the 8 car, clear of the front of the 15 car, but Dave Hara just drives it in right into the back of the 41 car. And no caution quite yet. Now the caution is more than likely going to come out. There it is. 90% of the field is involved in that one. And something that probably could have been easily, a little contact from the 27 into the 26. Not intentional, I'm sure. Everyone just trying to get going in the right direction as the leader comes around with no place to go. He's got to slam on the brakes. The rest of the field slamming on the brakes. What a calamity of events here in this one after a huge pileup out of turn number 4. So let's take a look here at what started that, and it was the 15 driving it into the back of the 41 car on entry. Kurdzlek obviously not able to catch it, and then everything goes to hell in a handbasket. Everyone involved in one way or the other, except for maybe Essery, who sneaks through there, and Tyrone Yo might have not picked up any contact in this one. So take another look here at this one. Again, watch the back. Sorry, that's not a good angle. We'll take another look here from this camera angle. The 15 into the back of the 41, and then just spins him out. And the 26 gets a piece, and he's into the 27. The 75 gets a piece. The 4 almost gets out of it through, and then the 41 at Kurdzlek. So the car that got spun out from second gets second back. So how's that for a good turn of events for the old 41 driver there, as he is able to hold on to that 2nd place after everyone else behind them piled in one way or another to that incident. So Hara into the 41, and then just calamity ensued behind them as we work under caution here. Again this afternoon, this is the 17th caution of the afternoon here on working lap number 193. So that caution came out on lap 290. As we continue to work here under caution. hopefully see the 1 to go sign from the starter given this time, maybe at a turn number 4. We'll get set to go back racing, so Kurdzwak will be in that outside line again after fighting off a charge from Dave Hara on the inside, able to slip back in front of Hara down into turn 3, but then Hara just drove it in a little deeper than Kurdzwak did and got into the back of the 41, spinning him out, and again just calamity ensuing behind that, resulting in a caution, and the car that got spun out to start the incident ends up in second on the outside, on the backside of the incident. So worked out well for Kurdzwak, not so much for some of the other cars involved, but we get set to go back racing nonetheless, working to complete. He will be 294 complete at the line, 26 to go to the end of this one. As pull those belts tight one more time. We'll see if we can get this one to the end, as the 8 machine will lead the way into the Geico restart zone for the hopefully last time this afternoon. Green flag is back out. Great start for Lafano. Esri gets a good start on the back of the 8 cars. Kurdzwak, though, will go into the top side. They'll be side by side for second on the exit of turn number 2. Kurdzwak on the outside, Esri on the inside. Kurds trying to hold him down on the curb to get a run around the outside. Not able to quite do it. They're still side by side on the exit of turn 4. Those drag race down into turn 1. Esri has position on the bottom, noses out ahead of the Kurdzwak 41, but Kurds not going away quite yet, still holding it right there on the outside of the 4 car, back down to turns 3 and 4 they go, still side by side, this time on the exit of 4 though. Kurds going to lose that spot. Esri's going to slide in behind him, trying to make the crisscross back to the inside, not able to get it done. Esri locks the brakes up a little bit down into turn 1. Oh, he's able to hold on to second. He's clear of the Kurdzwak 41 here with 23 laps to go this time at the line for Lafano. Lafano back out to a half-second lead over the Esri 4 here in this one. Works his way back down to 1 and 2 as the battle still looking to shape up here for a second, but it seems to have settled out now. Esri in second, Kurdzwak third. Looks like James Nelson up into the top 5 here late in the afternoon here in his 75. Steinhoff 74 back into 5th. Dave Hara in 6th. Ben Campbell, after getting 2 laps down and back on the lead lap, currently sits in 7th. Harris and Tyrone Yo 8th and 9th. Chad Snyder ended up losing a lap in that scuffle, trying to get his car righted. Wasn't able to do so before the leaders came back around, so he shows on the scoring pylon at 1 lap down, sitting in the 10th spot. So not the afternoon he wants, and it looks like the 67 of Campbell spins out, bringing out the caution. So we'll take a look to see what happened to the old number 67 machine. Looks like it might have been an incident also involving the 27 of Harris. No fault to Harris there. The 67 just gets on the outside and loses it coming off of turn number 4. We'll take another look here. Well, maybe there was some original contact there with the 27, but it's hard to tell. Can't really check here. We'll do one more replay here to see if there's any contact. So if anything, a little bit of net code unfortunately between those two. We'll take one more look here. You watch the... So yeah, a little bit of net code gets into the side of the 67, spinning him out of turn number 4. So obviously not intentional, not something that either driver wanted to happen, but caution out again here for the 18th time on lap 300. As we are getting set for another restart here with 19 to go. A couple cars have headed down pit road. Looks like Kurdzwak, Tyrone, and Esri all on pit road here with 19 laps to go. Lafano and the Nelson now will be the front row of this one. Dave Hara back up to 3rd. Steinhoff will be 4th. Harris and Campbell, 2 cars involved in the accident, will be 5th and 6th. But as I say that, looks like Ben Campbell will head down pit road. So that's going to shake excuse me, things up here just outside of the top 5. Couple more laps under caution as the lights stay on the pace track down into turn 1 and 2. Again, thank you to those tuned in on the All-American Racing League on the Sim World Racing Network. Race 7 of the 2025 season here, as we are enjoying this one from Martinsville. 320 laps is the distance. We're almost there. We are 303 laps complete at this point. Should get the one to go signal this time. Look for the lights on the pace truck to go out. There they go. We will double it up down into turn number 1. It looks like it's going to be Lerfano and Nelson, Hara and Steinhoff, Harris and Essery. The first 3 rows. Then we're going to have Kurdzlek, Tyrone Yo there on the outside. Then you're going to have the 38 of Barnett, and it looks like the 26 of Snyder able to take the wave around and get back onto the lead lap. So they will head down into turn 3 and 4. Again, Lerfano, the control car. The car on the outside of the front row, that is the Nelson 75. Running up front here late in this one. Breaking into the top 5. Green flag's back out. Great jump for the inside row. That's trouble for the outside row, though, as now Dave Hara looks to the inside of James Nelson, this time through 1 and 2 rather. Going to clear him. Cam Harris has got a nose to the inside of the Nelson 65 down into turns 3 and 4. See if Nelson can fight off that battle from Harris. Not able to hold it off quite yet, but still on the outside has position down into 1 and 2 rather. This time still side by side on the exit of turn number 2 they go. He's going to lose that position. Now Kurdzlek will go to the inside. Steinhoff will go to the outside. Steinhoff will think better of that, get out of it, and let them race on as Essery gets by Steinhoff now. But Kurdzlek up into the 4th spot around Nelson, who's still stuck on the outside. Now he's got Essery on his inside, this time off of turn number 2. Able to clear the Essery 4. That'll move him into a better position to guard that bottom side through 3 and 4. But Essery gets up on the curb. He's going to get around now, and it's going to collect a bunch of cars behind him. So caution out again here with 13 laps to go after Essery has a good charge into the corner, gets up on the curb and spins it out. Coming off of turn number 4, we'll take a look at the replay. Just too close to that curb, and he gets up on it and wheels hops it, and a couple cars get together behind him. Shouldn't be too much damage for anyone. We'll take one more look at it off of the exit of turn number 4. Just gets on the curb right there. Gonna spin it out coming out of 4, and then Steinhoff finishes him off, and Chad gets into the back of Steinhoff, and then a little bit of contact there with a couple more cars, but nothing that should cause any severe damage to anybody. As some cars headed down pit road, Snyder and Steinhoff, you see them there on pit road, as well as Ben Campbell here late in this one. 12 laps to go here under caution, so it's going to be Lerfano and Hara on the front row. Cam Harris, Mike Kurdzlek, James Nelson will be your top 5. Looks like it's going to be Essery and Tyrone Yo in 6th and 7th. Then we'll see how they come off of pit road to sort out the back half of the field here. The back half of the top 10 at least. Looks like it's going to be Steinhoff, Snyder, and then it looks like it's going to be Campbell in 10th. So the field will have a couple more laps here under caution, at least this one and one more. They should be getting the one to go signal next time out of turn 4. That'll put us green with about 9 laps to go in this one. So single digit lap count once we go back green here. As the track temperature continues to drop here in Martinsville down to 74 degrees. 68 degrees is the air temperature as the track temperature cooling off here as the sun starts to set. Sim time is almost 6 o'clock sim time here as we get set to go back racing here, but not it for just 2 hours right now as of right now. Nope, sorry, 2 hours and 10 minutes. We'll in the books so far, so hopefully we can wrap this up here in just a handful of laps. It'll be 9 to go, like I mentioned when we come back to green. The control car is the number 8 machine of Dave Lerfano. Outside him, Officer Hillbilly Dave Hara in 2nd, Cam Harris in 3rd, and then Kurdzlek in 4th on the outside. You have Nelson and Essery, Tyrone Yo and Steinhoff, and Campbell and Snyder, the last 2 cars on the lead lap. Then you have also out on track, you have Greg Barnett running in the last position on track. Green flag is back out. We are back racing. Big jump for the number 8 car. Cam is going to get to the inside of Hara down through 1 and 2. Hara is going to push it way wide. That's going to be trouble as now Kurdzlek spins, and we're probably going to have another caution here. No, everyone able to continue. Not sure really why the caution didn't come out on that one, but Dave Hera out front has got company in the form of the 27 of Cam Harris with 8 laps to go. Down into turn 1. We'll keep an eye on the battle up front. Now Harris between the 2 cop cars as they work their way down the back straightaway. Then it's a big gap from Hera back to Essery. About 2 seconds back to Essery off the back bumper of the 15 car after calamity ensued off of turn number 2. We'll go back and take a look here at what happened there off of turn 2 that did not bring out a caution. So it looks like Nelson gets a piece of the 41, then everyone else just nowhere to go, keeps piling in. Again, no caution, but green flag still out, and we're still underway here as Kurdzak able to keep going after getting off the front bumper of the 75. Second time in the middle of a corner that the 41 ends up facing the wrong way. No doing of his own, as we got an incident between the 38 and the 2. They're both able to continue. Again, no caution here in this one. Kurdzak able to avoid that mess. There's 2 cars battling way outside the top 5, causing problems here late in this one. Up front, though, Dave Hera continues to lead the way here, coming down to the line. Working down the back straightaway, actually. 4 to go this time at the line for Dave Hera. Continues to open up a lead. As I say that, though, Cam Harris gets to his inside out of turn number 4, as he is going to be able to get back around Harris, though. Down into turn 1 goes the number 8 machine. 4 to go that time at the stripe. Down the back straightaway, Harris and Hera. Second and third, Lurfano on the front of this one. Harris drives it in really a lot deeper. Looks like he might have come in for tires a little later, so Cam Harris only has about 25 laps on his tires. Same with Dave Hera, where Lurfano has 41. Not a lot, but enough to make a difference here late in this one. 3 to go that time at the line, down to turn 3 and 4. Look for 2 to go from the starter, as we are 1 mile away from picking up the win, or picking a winner here from Martinsville. The lead has opened up to about 0.4 of a second down into turn 3, 1 and 2, as Harris goes way wide. Going to let Hera walk in through the door and say, I'm coming through. Is Hera up to second now, but that's going to open the gap to about half a second for Dave Hera. Off of turn number 4, white flag in the air for the driver of the number 8 machine. Down the front straightaway, 1 to go this time for race leader Dave Lurfano through 1 and 2. Hera battle in there for second. Got Cam Harris still right on his back bumper, but it's all Dave Lurfano all the time in this one this afternoon. 312 laps led on his way to picking up his first win of the 2025 season. Dave Lurfano to victory lane at Martinsville. Second to the 15 of Dave Hera. Cam Harris third. Fourth to Chris Essery. Steinhoff fifth. Ben Campbell battles back for a 6th place finish. 7th to Nelson. 8th to Kurdzak. Tyrone Yoke coming home in 9th, and then Chad Snyder rounding out the top 10 in 10th. So that is the finish to this one. Dave Lurfano picks up his first win of the 2025 season in dominating fashion. 312 laps led, as I mentioned. Only other leader in the afternoon was the 8 laps led by the 15 of Dave Hera. So we're going to step away for a second here while we get some interviews lined up for you. We'll be right back with interviews from the top 3 drivers this afternoon. Hey Cam, it's Nathan up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Big 3rd place finish for you tonight. Had second there the last couple of laps, but Harris snuck back by you. So 3rd place, not a bad result after a pretty rough race here at Martinsville.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Freaking tired. But yeah, brought home 3rd. Can't complain.
Hopefully we can keep seeing you out here. I know you missed a couple weeks, but it's always great having you in the field. So hopefully we can talk to you with a podium finish next time.
Hell yeah, for sure. Thank you.
All right. That was 3rd place finisher tonight. That's Cam Harris. Now we'll see if we can get a word with runner-up in this one, Dave Hera. Let's see here. We'll find Dave. Hey, Dave. It's Nathan up in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, yeah, I got you, Nathan.
Bridesmaid again this week in kind of a little more exciting fashion, getting that pass there on Cam with about 3 laps to go, getting you back to the 2nd place in the podium. So that's a good finish for you, I think.
Yeah, it was a pretty good run today. come up one short, but if I'm going to lose to somebody, I'd rather lose to a teammate. It was a good night for Dirty Dave's Racing and LSPD sponsors, I guess, for us for officers here. But anyway, yeah, man, it was fun out there. I love this track. I love coming here. It's really hard, so small, and with tempers fly from time to time. But it was a hell of a race by everybody. We just had a good time out there tonight.
All right, well, big second place finish, like I mentioned, 2 in a row. So hopefully we'll see you back in the podium next week at Darlington.
Yeah, man. Hope to talk to you then. Again, shout out to David Lafano for getting the win and Cam getting there in third place. It was a good night.
All right, thanks a lot, Hillbilly. Have a good week.
Sir, thank you.
All right, that was runner-up Dave Hillbilly Hare, driver of the number 15 machine. Now we'll get a word with his teammate and winner tonight, the driver of the number 8 machine, Officer Hera. Here we'll get, or Officer Lafano rather. Hey Dave, it's Nathan up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, Nathan.
Big win on the year. Get that monkey off the back after picking up 2 preseason wins, finally going to victory lane and maybe getting this season turned back around, I think.
Yeah, I'm glad I could get it done at Martinsville. I know in the fall race here last year, I had that race locked up and kind of got taken out there and lost the race. So it feels good to get back there tonight. I led a bunch of laps here. I don't know how many, but it worked out.
Well, 312 of the 320 you led, so obviously dominating, picked up, maximized all the points, picked up all the stage wins, so great run for you after, like I said, a rougher start to the season, but hopefully after 4th last week and a win this week, you can propel that into a great finish next week at Darlington.
Yeah, Darlington, we'll see how that goes. But I got to thank the guys here tonight, the guys like Chris Essery, David Hara, Hillbilly, Kurds, just running clean here up at the front. It made it fun, enjoyable to be with some guys that you can trust and not have to worry about looking out your rear mirror as much. So big shout out to them guys.
All right, well, thanks a lot for that, and good luck next week and the rest of the way through the season, Dave.
All right, thank you, Nathan.
All right, that was tonight's winner, driver of the number 8 machine. That is Dave Hara out of Poland, Maine, picking up his first win of the season in what can only be said as dominating fashion. Led 312 of the 320 laps here from Martinsville. And we'll take a look at the final rundown here from this one outside of the top 3 after we talk to all those drivers. So Lafano, Hara, and Harris, 1, 2, and 3 at the line. Then you got Ryan Steinhoff finishing in, Chris Essery in that 4-car finishing in 4th. Can't win 3 in a row, but he'll start the streak. Try again tomorrow night. Steinhoff and Ben Campbell, 5th and 6th. James Nelson and Kurdzlek come home in 7th and 8th. Tyrone Yo and Chad Snyder round out your top 10. Then Greg Barnett, last car running at the end of this one, 6 laps down after getting caught down a few laps early in an incident, not being able to claw his way back up, unfortunately, but still picked up a few spots by sticking it out, obviously, coming home 11th. Larry Garns, the first car on the evening not to finish this one. He comes home 52 laps off the pace. And then Travis Rodriguez, another disappointing result for the driver of the number 7 after ripping off 3 wins to start the season. Has had 3 out of the past 4 races outside the top 10, unfortunately. Sean Horlander, he will come home in the 14th spot, 223 laps off the pace. Then Curtis Auburn and Johnny May rounding out the field here tonight from Martinsville. 16 cars started this one, 11 on track at the end. So no fast repairs. Obviously, the first short track race of the season with no fast repairs probably definitely hurt a few drivers after getting involved into early accidents. But nonetheless, a great finish to the evening as Dave Lafano, as I mentioned, dominating fashion here from Martinsville, will bring home with the win. First one of the 2025 season. 5th different winner in 7 races so far this year. But that's all for us on the air tonight. Remember, we will not be on the air next week. No broadcast for the All-American Racing League next Thursday from Darlington. We'll try to bring you some highlights a couple weeks from now when we are back on the air. But as always, my name is Nathan Christensen, voice of the All-American Racing League Cup Series. This has been a presentation of the SimWorld Racing Network. The Blue Mountains Whew, it's been a long night. Sorry. The Blue Ridge Mountains 320 from Martinsville Speedway. Thanks again for joining us, and we will talk to you either tomorrow night from the Quick Finishers Racing League on the air at 7:50 for 280 laps around Martinsville, or in a couple weeks for the AARL race. But for now, have a great evening and a good rest of your week.